Hello everybody, thank you guys for joining stream 2, and we got our first bloods already in here by Frank. Welcome, Frank. Let me know how the volume is. I was just on with the same settings on a different live stream and it seemed like it was fine, but just let me know if you need to make it a little bit louder or not, or if the volume is just right. But we should be good to go. And we do have a awesome. We do have a guest that's going to be joining us, who is not Derek. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Let me see if I remember how to do this still. Haha. It's been a while since we had our live stream, so I've been in a couple of different live streams, but I have not had one of our own in a little while. All right, so before I forget, so if you guys, thank you everybody for joining. Right there is our link to our Discord community. If you're not there already, that is where all the cool kids hang out 24/7. And if you have any questions about anything we discuss in the firearms, or just want to come hang out and meet like-minded gun owners, absolutely do join. Doesn't cost you anything or anything else like that. So today, kind of to get back into the swing of things, we will be, and actually probably should check if we're streaming in Odyssey. I believe that we are. We are going to be discussing some new firearms that came out recently. We're going to be discussing some Black Friday deals, and then just basically figuring out what's going on with you guys and our plans going into 2022, and why possibly I might be a little concerned about SHOT Show still happening. So that's Discord. Aaron, I don't see you on here, but let me know in the private chat whether you're going to be good or whenever we can bring you on and we can discuss. And if you guys have any questions about precision rifle shooting, PRS, NRL, hunting, things like that, and we have the right person to ask here, and we'll go from there. I know he's here, so we shall see. All right, so who is in here? We have Joe. Thank you as always, buddy, for joining. Joe's friend Loretta, thank you very much. Hey Gabador, haven't seen you in a while. Beautiful. So, what'd you guys buy for Turkey Day so far? And let me... Okay, I think Aaron is moving. There we go. Cool. Alrighty. So, a couple of updates and stuff that I've been working on. So, I've done a... So, number one, I apologize. We did not have a brand new video. Where are people watching? We did not have a full-blown video in the last 2 weeks between the holidays. It was my birthday. Thank you for the birthday wishes, everybody. Just did not have time, and then the ones that I did go and film, I just really didn't edit. But we have some cool stuff that you can kind of see in the background. So we have 3 new scopes that you're going to see a video on very soon. We have the Bushnell Match Pro, which was originally a rimfire scope, but they decided, and now they made it a standard scope. We have the Crimson Trace 6224. That's the new Hardline Pro. That's actually the second one because the first one had issues. And then we also have the Primary Arms 6224. So those are all filmed. They just need to be edited and we're going to be good. And then also we are going to have, as we close out 2022, I have 4 or 5 videos that I actually filmed with this gentleman. Hold on. Like, you don't see him on here yet, but like he's on my sidebar right there. We have 4 or 5 videos that we did from NRK Outdoors that I do want to get out to you guys before we close out the year. So that's going to be really exciting. A lot of educational content. And gun wise, oh, there's a couple of new guns that I recently purchased. I went a little bit nuts over the past 2 weeks. Um, PSA Dagger, so it's been one of the more popular handgun videos that we had, and I actually think it's the most popular SHOT Show video that we did. So I was able to, I was on a wait list to get a sample from them, but then there's only, I think, like a couple of them to go around, a couple of the writers. So then I saw it available. Somebody sent me a link that, hey, it's available to buy. So I bought for $2.99. I bought a PSA Dagger. Picked it up, playing with it. Haven't shot it yet, but playing around. And like, that's actually a really impressive gun. So tomorrow I'm probably going to film some a little bit more footage. And within the next couple of weeks, we'll definitely have the video on that. It's gonna. I'm waiting for Aaron to send me some stuff, but it was one of those. It was on sale, so I must buy it. I have a Ruger American Rimfire that I picked up with a Nikon scope, which is a decent scope, while waiting for Ruger to send me the long-range target version. I decided to buy this one just because it was there. And then hopefully next week I'm going to go and pick up something, actually a gun that was on my, long-term list. Something I actually really wanted. So most people don't know is, I have a look over there. I have a rack of old collectible World War II style milled surplus rifles. I have 5 or 6 6.5 PRC 300 PRC precision rifles. We have a couple behind me and a couple more over there. But what I love collecting is Colt snake guns. So one of my holy grail guns, I was actually able to finally find one at a reasonable price. Picked up a Colt Python 1979 4-inch blued. So, yay. I'm excited, and I paid less than $2,000 for that, which is like, I'm like, I definitely don't want to spend the money, but I did. Oh, and actually, very soon you guys will see an article that I'm doing for Palmetto State Armory for their blog on 6.5 Grendel. And as part of that research, I was able to find, and I want to hear if anybody actually has even heard of the caliber, but 264 LBC. Tell me what that stands for. I picked up one of those rifles, and it was by Precision Firearms, and I know the owner. And I felt so bad. It was used. I felt so bad for this gun in the store. I decided to buy it and rescue it. And as a result of that, he's also going to be building me a custom action for next year. But 264 LBC, really cool caliber. Not Long Beach City. Okay, getting close. Aaron, do you know anything about 264 LBC? So let me actually, Aaron, give me a thumbs up if you're ready to pop on. Cool, he's good. And we will do that. So if you guys aren't familiar with Aaron, Aaron is the owner-founder of NRK Outdoors. NRK Outdoors is a big supporter of the channel, and just really awesome people. If you have any precision rifle needs, or if you picked up one of these Savage Axes on sale at Cabela's or Sportsman's Warehouse on Black Friday, it's $250. They have all the stuff that you can Gucci out your rifles, and I know Aaron also has some good news. So let me bring on Aaron. Hello, my friend.
How you doing?
I cannot complain. Well, I can't complain, but no one cares.
Isn't that the truth?
So here's a question. Have you ever heard of 264 LBC?
No, I have not.
But you've heard of 6.5 Grendel, right?
264, we're going to Google this. 264 what?
LBC.
LB, like Bravo?
Yes. Like, let's go, Brandon. cartridge. And it does not stand for that.
It's a Grendel clone.
Yeah. So 264 LBC stands for 264 Less Bear Custom. Um, uh, so 6.5 Grendel was introduced by Alexander Arms back in the early 2000s. And first, it was a CIP cartridge, and it wasn't SAMI spec'd in the United States until 2011. So people were like, okay, well, 6.5 Grendel is cool, but the problem was that the Grendel name was still trademarked by Alexander Arms. And that really kind of got some of the people in the precision rifle world and in the gun community a little bit up in arms. So Les Bear Customs came out with 264 LBC. They made a couple of little tweaks, and they made it as their own take on 6.5 Grendel, which interestingly, it shoots the exact. So what it is, there's a little bit less free bore, couple of thousands less free bore, and it was throated. The neck, instead of having a combination angle, it was just like a regular 1 degree. So a couple of small tweaks, but they came up with their own cartridge. Finally, though, in 2011, when Alexander Arms partnered with Hornady to SAMI spec the cartridge, they gave up the trademark, and that's when everybody else forgot about 264 LBC, 6.5 PPC, which was also another variant of that, and now everyone just loves the 6.5 Grendel. But 264 is LBC is one of those cartridges, and it was interesting because I go to the gun store, like I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, okay, well, is this one of your rifles, or did somebody piece one together? And like he's like, oh, look under the barrel and see. I look under the barrel, it's 264 LBC. I'm like, what the hell is that? And that's what led me down that research path and down the path of history. So you'll see it mentioned. Very cool gun, interesting caliber. Most people, there's still reamers available, and actually Hornady has reloading dies for 264 LBC, interestingly. But it's very, very cool. Nice little bit piece of history. So, have you been following up with any of the new introduced firearms so far?
Introduced in which way? The ones that just came out, or?
So the ones that were just announced, then basically in the past month and a half or so.
I haven't been following terribly close.
All right. So we get to educate. I feel great that I can educate Aaron on something, because like he's like a wealth of knowledge when it comes to everything. So I'm having.
I mean, like the biggest one I've seen is CZ, right? CZ
Yep.
launched a new line of centerfire rifles.
Yeah. All right. So and that was actually the most recent one. So I think let's save. There's 4 that I had on my list, and I think we'll save that one till then, because I think that's really been the biggest impact. So number 1, Smith & Wesson M&P is now available in 10 millimeter. Yay. So if you're hunting and you want a plastic fantastic firearm in 10 millimeter, you absolutely now will have another choice. I know a couple of people have TFB did a video on it. Some people are basically excited about it. It'll be interesting how 10 millimeter feels in a plastic gun that's not a Glock. I think 10 millimeter is really cool in a 1911, but we shall see. But that was from Smith & Wesson.
It's an M&P, it should be fine.
Yeah. So Springfield released yet another 1911. Yay. Kimber released another 1911. Yay.
Didn't Kimber release a striker fire?
Yeah, so that was actually earlier in the year. They released a striker fired pistol, but I don't recall anything about it. It's Kimber. It's actually really interesting. It's like everyone used to, I mean, like Kimber used to be really, really popular, but then it's kind of like, yeah. So I mean, actually, Kimber released the striker fired, and before then there was the revolvers. The revolvers are actually quite nice. I did have one, played around with it for a little bit, and then when the prices just skyrocketed, I ended up selling it, um, just because people were willing to pay stupid prices for them. So that's how that rolled. But the other one actually from Springfield that's kind of big is they announced the P-35, which is, since Browning stopped making the high power, Springfield is doing a high power clone. He has that face.
Springfield also released a center fire rifle back a few months ago too.
Yeah, so the Springfield 2020, and that is actually a really nice gun. So I haven't shot that yet. Oh, 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 oh. So, okay, if you want to know how to win my way to the heart, and you want to kiss ass, talk about 45 Gap. Drew, thank you, buddy. 45 Gap is an awesome cartridge, and actually, we are just having this discussion in a chat room, talking about how 1911s and 45 ACP versus 9mm, and I said actually 45 Gap is a really interesting cartridge for that, but. Aaron, you don't need to answer because I know you're gonna poo-poo on all of it and give us
What?
just. We will make 45 Gap great again. I don't care. All right, so
It
Springfield
looks
has
like a meaty, meaty bullet. Holy cow.
for what?
45 gap.
Oh, you don't know about 45 Gap?
I'm not a big handgun guy.
Oh
Just getting into the
my
handgun
God.
world.
All right, so 45 Gap is the ultimate solution in search of a problem. Gaston Glock, when he wanted to make himself into the history books, he basically the problem was, so Glock has the small frame and we have the large frame. The large frame's for 45 ACP and 10mm. The problem was a lot of the state polices, they wanted 45 stopping power, but a lot of the women and people with smaller hands, they couldn't comfortably grip a large frame Glock. So what they did was they took the 45 ACP cartridge, beefed up the walls, shrunk it down a little bit, and in essence made it a higher pressure cartridge, and voila, you have 45 ACP type power in a frame that you can fit into a standard size Glock frame. The problem for them was that, well, it was a Glock issue and not a anybody else issue, and they were able to fit 45 in kind of like smallish type frames. The biggest blunder when they did launch that cartridge was that it was meant to replace 45 ACP, but 45 ACP is well known for the 230 grain loads. When 45 Gap was SAMI-spec'd, it was only SAMI-spec'd as a 185 and 200 grain bullets. There were no 230 grain loads, and by that time it was already pretty much dead, dead on arrival. I believe only Georgia State Police, Florida State Police, and a couple other departments actually used 45 Gap. It was only about 2 or 3 years later that Winchester came out with a 45 Gap load in 230 grain. But by that point, it was kind of like, yeah, no one really cares. It was kind of like, at that point, 9mm and 40 were still all the rage. So it's kind of like, well, really, what's the point? And I guess it's like, I guess it's like the challenge for CZ. It's like it's very cool within the cultish communities, but generally speaking, no one gives a crap. Same thing with 45
Looks like
Gap.
you could outrun a 230 grain bullet.
Yes, but it was still, it's still a joy to shoot. And
I don't doubt it.
There's only 4 handguns that were chambered in 45 Gap, and those are the Glocks, so 37, 38, 39s. You had the Springfield XD in 45 Gap, which is what I have, and I love them. And then you have the Para in Para Warthog, which was the smallest subcompact carry gun, and that was a really, really cool gun. And then the fourth one is actually Derringers. They did have Derringers in 45 gap. But otherwise, no one really cared.
That would be legit. 45 gap Derringer. Yeah.
Yes, and you can still get those. You can actually still get those. But the cool part was for reloaders, it was actually interesting because it was all small pistol primer, so you didn't need to change over your press from small to large. You can do it all without changing anything. That's why 45 gap is awesome. And you don't even need any other die sets. You can use 45 ACP dies for 45 gap. So that's that. But the other solution in search of a problem that was recently announced was the CMMG 47. So it's an. Go ahead, Aaron. Go look this one up.
What is it called?
CMMG 47. It's an AR-15 that is chambered in the lovely HK 447 by 33, or what's the caliber? So for all the tactical Timmies, actually, you know what? This is worth bringing up on screen. So let me pull this one up.
The MK47?
I'm sorry, 46 by 30. Duh.
4.6.
4.6. I'm thinking 5.7. It's the CMMG 4.6.
That's the MMP7 round, right? Sorry, H&K, whatever that is.
Exactly. So
that is a fun caliber to shoot.
out of an AR?
Out of anything, it would be fun.
It's
There's no recoil. That's like a full auto's dream.
Yeah, it's like an FF. It's like FN57. I mean, that's basically what it is, but it's the HK version of it.
It's smaller and faster.
Tiny bit. But the thing of it, it's
great
still,
for soft body armor.
Yes.
Goes right through it.
Yes. But it's like 90 cents a round. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to reload, and custom mags. Yeah. So yes, Big Racer actually is spot on. So that cartridge has been around for a while, but I think actually what happened was the patents expired on it, so now people can actually start making guns with it. And CMMG is basically, I mean, if they're the first to hop onto any type of cartridge, so I guess since we can't have a FN57 upper for AR-15. They did the 4.6. It'll be interesting. All the HK fanboys who can't get the MP7. But you know what, though? It's like, it's still an AR-15. It's like...
I wonder what it would take to get an MP7. I'll have to make a phone call.
An SOT and a about 35 grand. What, are you guys in SOT now?
We've been in SOT for years.
Okay. You should have one. I'll come out.
If you do come out, I do know of one here in Utah.
There you go.
So,
by about 35 grand. It's interesting.
An MP7 is 35 grand. Ooh.
They're nuts. Even posties. Well, actually, they're all posties. They're all stupid expensive.
I wonder if I could get I bet you I could get an LEO demo permit one.
Yeah, you still got to spend money, but there you go. Well, I guess things are doing really, really well at Anarchy Outdoors. So Aaron is going to be able to get all those fun toys. All right, but the big one, and actually, the big one and the one that I'm really excited about, and the one that you alluded to, is the CZ600. So CZ is... I consider him kind of like, and Aaron, let me know if you agree with this, the ultimate cult brand, because within the safari hunting community, within the Precision 22 community, and within USPSA, they dominate. I mean, they have massive market share. But outside of those niche communities, they struggle to break 2% market share, and relatively speaking, no one gives a crap. They are the ultimate Colt brand. But in order to try to break out of that, they are trying to really get into the modern, mid-priced precision rifle hunting rifles, and they got rid of their 527, 57, and 550. They threw those off at the table, and now they have the brand new CZ600. So CZ600 is their new action. So our mutual friend Matt Foster from Catalyst Arms, and he writes for magazines. He was invited out to Utah. I'm sorry, Utah. He was invited out to the Czech Republic, or Czechia.
Yeah, he was in Prague.
And he got to play with them at the factory, and then he went to take one hunting. So I'm going to pull up the article that he did, and then we can kind of start going through it. So in full disclosure, I did record a video discussing the CZ600, so it will be edited, so hopefully I'll have it out next week. And
the Remington 700 clone.
Who? What? Huh?
The CZ600 is a Remington 700 clone.
Not even close.
It says it's drilled and tapped for a Remington 700 scope base.
Yes, so what they actually did was they got rid of their stupid proprietary scope base, and now...
They left the rest of it proprietary? Oh, boo.
Well, proprietary footprint and everything, yeah. Alright, so let me know if you guys can see this. Yep, there we go. Okay, so this is the new CZ600. So this is the basic alpha model. Now, what's interesting is, so they have... So CZ's been well known for typically their Mauser clone actions, which was the 550s. And then the 557 was their push feed action. This is a newer controlled round feed action, but it doesn't have that big, massive extractor on the side. So this is the Alpha, which is going to be the base model. So we're going to have it in 3 action sizes. So we're going to have it in the Mini, the Standard, and the Long. So this is the long action, and I believe he was hunting with a 300 Win Mag. Now, what's unique about it, we'll get to that one, is this. So, square bottom action, they have a new trigger that's going to have, you turn the dial, and it's going to have presets from 1.5 to 3 pounds. The biggest thing about this is that it's going to be a quick change barrel system. So you guys can see here, you have the 3 torque screws. So you'll be able to easily swap out the barrels. And the action, so the bolt head is also going to be user replaceable. So for the standard and the long actions, it's a 6-slug 60-degree bolt throw. So you have 2 rows of 3 lugs. And then the mini action is just going to be a 3-lug. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal, I think, for a sub $1,000 gun. So the base Alpha is going to have a $749 MSRP. Deluxe is $848. Trail at $1155, and the range is $1199. The base Alpha is going to come with an aluminum receiver. And into the receiver, you have machined a Picatinny scope base. Well, bases. And then the higher end models, the Lux, the Range, and the Trail are steel receivers. And those have a Remington 700 scope base pattern. So yeah, out of a factory gun. The base guns are going to be guaranteed sub MOA 3-shot group, and the 1199 range model is sub 3/4 MOA 5-shot group, which for an $1,100 gun is pretty damn impressive. So here in this image, you can actually see the screw here. So that it has presets that you turn, and it'll adjust the trigger pull weight. So Matt says between 2 and 5 pounds. On the website. It was 1.5
set
to.
it in the middle of the presets, or is it just the
Now,
preset?
it's the preset, so it has detents that you set.
Sad day.
All right, and then so basically it has a new tang-mounted safety. So here you can see basically it's there. You press it. It's almost like a crossbar safety, but it goes for the entire grip of the gun. So you press it down when you want to fire, or press it up from the bottom. So to go back from there.
Can I be the critic?
Yes.
That is a terrible idea. That right there just eliminated any aftermarket stock options.
Probably.
Right there, dead in the water. Like, that's, man, I hate when companies do things like that. But well, anyways, yeah, so, I mean, that right there is an impediment to aftermarket parts.
Well, so I mean, here's the thing, though, and I'm going to talk about it more in the video. The problem, so, and let's kind of go through the model. So that's the Alpha with the polymer stock, and the scope base is in there. We're all threaded from the factory.
Is it actually threaded?
Yes.
Yep. The website didn't say if it was.
It is. So, yeah, it's definitely threaded. In Europe, I know one of the main discussion points, they had the left hand, that had the metric threading. I'm like, please tell me if they're not going to do that for the U.S. I did look at the specs for the U.S., so, yeah, it's either going to be half by 28 or 5/8 by 24. So, proper thread patterns for the U.S. Then the Alpha, so that's Alpha, that's the Lux, which is kind of like for your safari type guns. Steel receiver, has sights. Then you have the range, which is it's a laminate wood stock, 24-inch barrel, heavy contour. Then you have a cheek riser that you can adjustable comb height. And then you have this guy, so everyone's trying to be the Sick Cross and the Q Fix. You have this with it's the trail version.
So that's legit.
But it's only in 223 and 7.62 by 39.
That's fine. That's a truck gun, baby.
Yep. So that's those, and that's going to have an MSRP of $11.55. So
that's issue. Not bad. The Sig Cross is what, $1,700?
Yeah, 16 to 1,700.
And the Q's like what, $5,000 because it's the Q.
35.
Yeah, exactly.
But the difference is those are available in 6.5 and a number of other calibers. Here, it's only in 223 and 7.62 by 39. So we'll see if they. Yeah. But I love the stock on here. I mean, it looks really, really cool. And the value is absolutely there. Now, you brought up a really good point about impeding the aftermarket, and that was actually my biggest concern with this rifle. Well, besides the stupid caliber choices, which I'll get into, that'll be save that for the video. But I didn't even think about for the safety with the stocks. Because I mean, yeah, I mean, like the chassis are going to be nuts. I mean, you'd have to do. I don't even know.
Well, you have to tear that apart and see how it works. So that's the #1 reason KRG will not make a Bravo stock for the Ruger American, and it's because of the dang Tang safety.
Yep.
Even though they would make millions of dollars if they would just do it.
Yeah. No. So here's actually the biggest issue. And what's going to impede the barrel and the quick change system. Take a look there. What's different?
It's not threaded.
Nope.
That reminds me of a clamp-on muzzle brake.
So this is almost very similar to kind of like what Desert Tech does with their quick change system, or almost like the AR-15. But it doesn't look like it's actually a receiver extension. So the lugs the counter lugs are not on the receiver. The lugs are in the barrel itself.
Which makes aftermarket barrels non-existent.
Precisely.
What is this? This is like Tika 101. How to F your customer base and make everything as stupid, ridiculous, hard as possible.
Yeah. So I mean, here's the thing. I mean, like,
But I guess CZ's market is Europe, right? I mean, they can
well,
bring these guns into the United States, but I don't see these selling well in the United States.
so I mean, here's the thing. I mean, it has a lot of really cool features. I mean, my biggest issue is these barrels and the caliber choices. So I guess here, let's talk about this, and it'll be in a more concise. Guys, I know there's like a bunch of comments and stuff. I am gonna go through them.
Yeah,
I
there's
just
some
can't.
questions that we need to answer as well.
We'll absolutely go through those. And if you guys want to support the channel, send the super chat or click join and become a channel member. Definitely greatly appreciate that. All right, so here's kind of like where I started scratching my head. The really cool part about the CZ, they're chambering it in awesome calibers such as 6.5 PRC. Yay. 6 Creedmoor, 6.5. But here's the major issue.
Yeah, 30-06, baby. That's
Here,
God's caliber. You thought it was 45 ACP, but it's really 30-06.
oh, but wait, it gets better. So the standard
You had the calibers up, and then you went and messed it up.
No, here we go. So the standard
224 Valkyrie for the win.
So the standard alpha is going to be available in a wide variety of calibers such as 223 Remington, 7.62x39, and 224 Valk for the mini action. Standard actions include 308, okay, 6 Creedmoor, yay, 6.5 Creedmoor, yay, you got to be a moron not to do it, 6.5 PRC, huge win, love it, 30-06, I guess it's still a popular hunting round, and 300 Win Mag and 8mm Mauser. Here's a question. What's one of the most popular calibers in the Howa and CZ mini actions? And which we also discussed already on this live stream. And I have one behind me. 6.5, come on.
6.5 Swede.
Mini, think mini.
Mini.
6.5 in an AR-15.
Oh, 6.5 Grendel.
Uh-huh. Where the hell is 6.5 Grendel?
I could see them not putting 6.5 Grendel because it's a bolt gun. But like...
But here's the thing, though.
Like, why would you make a 300 Win Mag and not make a 300 PRC?
Okay, we'll get to those too. So here's the thing. So they have 224 frickin' Valkyrie. Every other manufacturer that I know of either never did 224 Valkyrie or stopped supporting it, i.e. Mossberg is no longer doing anything with 224 Valkyrie. And 6.5 Grendel is 5 times more popular than 224 Valkyrie. Yet, it's not in here, but 224 Valkyrie is.
I can explain that. Want me to explain that?
Yes, please do.
Some executive who sits in an office, who's never been out of his office, made the decision to make that list.
Well, you know what it is? It's almost kind of like you had one set of people who go like, hey, how can we make a really market-moving type of rifle, and what features would we need in it? And then somebody else who was looking at the most popular list from 10 years ago, well, not 10, I guess 5 years ago, when 224 Valkyrie was launched. But yeah, it's weird. But here, hold on.
You know what? That's probably when they started designing this. Yeah. It was probably 5 years ago when they started designing it.
But here's the thing, though. The new CZs actually have 6.5 Grendel and other calibers. And CZ was supposed to be the launch partner for bolt guns for 6 ARC. They don't have 6 ARC here, but they have 224 Valkyrie, which is like half as popular.
So what they don't say is what type of magazine is compatible here? It just
Proprietary.
says box mag, but is that a P
Pro
mag? Is that an AICS
proprietary.
mag?
Proprietary. So
Of
all
course. Again, I would not. So this is my personal opinion. I would never buy one of these just based off the fact that you can't do anything with it.
well, the only one that actually does take Stanag mags is the Trail, which is your truck gun in 223 that does take AR-15 mags, and the 7.62 by 39 takes Scorpion mags. I'm sorry, not Scorpion mags. It takes Bren mags.
Of course, because Bren is that popular.
Even though you have AR-15 7.62 by 39 mags that work and are popular. All right, so
Or you just use a friggin' box mag like you're supposed to.
all right, so we have all
Okay,
these
whoever was in charge of their design marketing, they need to get fired because there's
but
about
wait,
6 points of this rifle that are garbage.
Aaron, but wait, there's more. So you have all these awesome calibers, right? You think they're going to be available across the entire lineup. You'd be wrong. So the Lux model is the hunting-focused model. That is only available in 223 Remington for the mini action, 308, and 8 Mauser, 30-06, and 300 Win Mag. What's missing, and probably some of the more popular hunting cartridges in the United States over the last couple of years?
I only hunt with 30-06. Do you know that? my grandpa's gun was 30-06. He killed all them Germans with it. Whatever. Anyways, 30-06.
So even though
30-06 is a great caliber, it's just antiquated, right?
Yep. So even though they chamber and have barrels for 6.5 Creedmoor, 6 Creedmoor, and 6.5 PRC, they are not chambering the Lux in it.
It's an upsell. You have to buy a crappy caliber, and then you have to go buy all the extra stuff.
But I don't think that you're going to have the barrels for it. That's the thing.
Isn't it the same receiver?
It's the same receiver, yes, but it's like they're not going to. I don't think they're going to do those barrels in with those sights. I mean, that's the thing. So with most guns, like they'll save some of the cool calibers for the higher end versions. Here, all the cool calibers are with the cheap alpha. So there's
no Safari calibers either, right?
Well, so this is supposed to be the Safari. So that's the 8 mil Mauser, the 30-06, and 300 Win Mag. And
those aren't Safari calibers. Safari calibers are much bigger than that.
Well, 223 Remington, if you want to piss off a rhino.
Whatever, you couldn't even kill a warhog with it.
All right, so obviously they saved
Timon.
Obviously, CZ saved the best for the range model, right? So when you think of range, this is a precision rifle, 24-inch, cold hammer forged barrel, heavy contour, adjustable stock. What calibers is this available in? 308
7.5 MOA. I mean, sorry, 308
and 6 Creedmoor. No 6.5.
Where's 6.5? We only have 6mm and 30 cal, nothing in between.
So you can either have a barrel burner. I guess you know what this is for the PRS crowd. That's probably what they thought of. And 308.
Tactivision and not Tactivision, like okay.
Yeah. So it's like, come on, seriously, people. No 6.5 Creedmoor, no. I mean, well, there's no many actions for this yet. I mean, but 6.5 PRC would be perfect for this, for your longer range. But I mean, 6.5 Creedmoor, come on. 6.5 Creedmoor should be any gun that you chamber. You should have a model in 6.5 Creedmoor. As per some industry data, and as per one particular company,
308 and 30-06. No other calibers are allowed.
So, right now, for one particular gun company, their sales of 6.5 Creedmoor account for more than all of the other calibers combined.
That sounds like Ruger. Just throwing it out there.
I don't know. I don't think so. Could be. It's possible. Isn't that a nice gun? That's a 6.5 Grendel in Ruger American Predator. Nice gun.
I can just tell from the number of Ruger American handles I sell that Ruger is stomping on all the other gun makers right
Yeah.
now.
For awesome guns. I mean, for really awesome guns. And we can kind of talk about those in a bit. Okay, so then we have the CZ600 Trail, which is this cool one, and that's only going to be available in 223 and 762 by 39.
I need a 4.6.
It'd be interesting.
It would be fun. It would be fun to shoot a 5.7 out of a rifle.
All right. So I am going to have a more detailed video on this within the week, looking
We
at
should
this.
film a video where you're all serious, and then we should film a video of everything they did wrong.
Yes.
We should do that.
But I mean, but here's the thing, though. It's like, how can you get so much stuff right? Meaning, quick change barrel system, nice innovative trigger for most people, and you even have the cheapest models with integrated scope bases and fretted barrels, and then you get such simple stuff wrong, like stupid caliber choices. It's like, come on, man.
And that's you could make a Remington clone, right? Like, or even a Mousingfield clone. You know what I mean?
So, like I said, so what's going to be actually interesting, and from what I'm looking forward to, is this actually going to break CZ out along the casual shooter, or if this time next year we're going to see similar features from Howa, Ruger, Savage, even maybe Remington.
I think Ruger's just going to start counting their money and spending less in marketing because of these releases.
Yeah.
Ruger's just going to be like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And all the competitors are like, what do we do with all these guns we're not selling?
Yeah. Like I said, it's definitely an interesting gun. It's like I mean, I'm looking forward to it in 6.5 PRC. I don't know if it's going to be a standard action or a long action. Hopefully, they're able to fit it into a standard action.
Well, it depends on what magazines they use, right? Because a 6.5 PRC pushes that mutant magazine, right? It pushes
in the AICS pattern, they use 300 WSM mags. So it's your standard.
Yeah, so you should be fine. They should keep it in a short action then.
Yes, but here's the thing though, and this is actually what I was kind of caught off surprise by. So Savage and Mossberg guns in 6.5 PRC are absolutely. So actually, so Savage and Mossbergs in 6.5 PRC are for standard actions. But James, actually, was it James or Drew? We were talking about the Ruger American in 6.5 PRC, which I did get. I started playing with. I even had a chassis picked out for it. And guess what? It's not the standard action. It's I don't think it's even the long action. I think it's for proprietary mid-sized action, and kind of like how within the Ruger precision rifle in 6.5 PRC, it's a little bit different. It's not the small and it's not the Magnum. It's in between. It's the exact same thing with 6.5 PRC.
The Ruger Precision 6.5 PRC is. Everything is the same except for
the receiver is actually a little bit longer.
Is it a little bit longer?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, and Ruger was actually the first.
Oh, that's true. They had to beef the receiver up.
Yeah, to beef the receiver up and make it a little bit longer. So that's why they were like one of the first ones that did it that way. So.
So you want to talk about a company who released a bolt rifle and did it right? Look at that right there. Kudos.
Springfield Armory.
This is the fun thing, right? Springfield Armory is
Hold on, let me make you bigger.
Owned by CZ, right?
Let me blow you up. There we go. Okay, so go ahead and tell us what we're looking at.
This is the Springfield 2020, which is basically a Remington 700 clone, right?
Yep.
Remington scope base, Remington trigger, Remington bolt stop. Except for it does look like they didn't weld on the bolt handle, which is freaking glorious. I hate welded on bolt handles. But anyways, going back, doesn't CZ own Springfield?
No, they bought Colt.
Who owns Springfield? Oh, Springfield's made in Croatia. That's
So,
right, not in
so
the Czech Republic.
yeah, so Springfield XD handguns, they went out to Croatia and what was it, HSA or something like that. They make their handguns, the XDs, the XD line of firearms. That's who does it for Springfield for
So do they
19.
only make their handguns? I thought they were. I'll have to look that up.
No, so
I'll look that up later.
Springfield 1911s are made in the United States, but the Springfield polymer guns are Croatian made. And their rifles are U.S. made. So yeah, the Springfield. They earlier this year they launched the 2020 rifle, and I've played with I've been trying to get a loaner gun or a demo gun from Springfield. I haven't been able to reach out to anybody, but super. I played with one in the store. It was smoother than a Tika, smoother than anything else. Nice, tight. They're really nice guns. Don't know how to shoot, but they're really, really, really nice guns.
I'll have to put that on the SHOT Show. Stop. If it happens.
Okay. So James, hopefully that answered that. So I am gonna have the review. I've had the gun for a while, actually about a month now. I just haven't had a chance to go out with it. But finally, we'll have time. But now, even though it's a little bit cold, but I'll have the video on it very, very soon, and we'll start getting some results. All right.
Okay. What's next?
I think this is a question for you.
The Ruger Shroud question.
Can Aaron explain the pros and cons of RPR replacement machine cocking piece and bolt shroud from composite aluminum titanium and the recall sticky one from RPR factory years ago? Hold on, let me make it big again.
You make it big, make it big. Okay. So let's start off. This is a Gen 1 factory Ruger bolt out of my gun. And I don't think I've replaced this cocking piece. No, it's got the number 1 on it. If you see the number 1 on the side, that's from the mold. Because this is a MIM product, which means they take powdered metal and they compress it. The issue with the Ruger cocking piece is after so many rounds, and I think it's based on 2 of the mold types. This gun has 5,000 or 6,000 rounds on it, and it hasn't had the issue yet. But when we first got started in early 2016, we noticed that after about 3,000 rounds, this piece right here would shear off. It just breaks off, and it's because it's a MIM product. MIM products just don't wear as long, right? So we started developing a cocking piece. We developed it at the same time that 80 Arms developed it, and 80 Arms beat us done with it. So we decided to work with 80 Arms and push his product versus finishing developing ours. We had it, I don't know, we had ours like 70% of the way done, and he beat us by a couple weeks. So we decided to support him and do that. So the difference is it's billet aluminum, 70-75. Are they billet aluminum or are they steel? No, I think they're steel. I think they're a steel piece, and they're heat treated in the nitriding process. So they're just a lot stronger than the MIM piece. So hopefully that answers the question. Is the caulking piece, a lot of guys buy the caulking piece just because they compete with their Rugers. They're afraid they're going to break unexpectedly, and they do break unexpectedly. And guys just like reliability. They like their guns just to work and not have to worry. Is it going to break on this round? Is it going to break on that round? So that's why guys replace the caulking piece. We sell thousands of them every year, and it's just kind of a peace of mind issue, right? Just peace of mind. So yeah, so that's why that breaks. Now answering the other, and Ruger recognized that. Okay, this is the bolt out of I think this is out of the custom. We're on YouTube, right? So I can't do anything fun. So this is the bolt out of a custom rifle, or as Graham says, the Ruger 3.2. Oh, I don't know how to take this one off. I think I just screwed it up. I did not R&D this one, so I guess I messed it up. Oh no, I decocked it. Oh well. Anyways, you can see in here, I'll fix it later, but you can see in here, on the new version of the rifles, they removed that tang. So the tang looks very much like the Magnums. So it's not quite the same as the Magnum, and the firing pin for the new Rugers is a mix of the Magnum and short action. It's like a short action Magnum pin. So hopefully that answers the question. So Ruger recognized that design issue, and they have changed it on what they call the Ruger Generation 3.5,
Yeah.
which the custom rifle is in that category.
So behind me, I don't know if you can see it. So if you have the custom shop that I still can't talk about because that's not the one that's out right now.
The custom shop one?
Not my custom shop one.
No. I do have a custom shop one. It's in the closet.
You do. You have the 6mm Creedmoor one.
Yes, I do. Oh, okay. So I got to answer the second part of the question.
Yeah. So about the shrouds, I was actually.
So the shroud, going this way. I run a solid titanium shroud. I like the extra weight. It helps with the fluid of the fluid running of the bolt. A little bit more mass behind the bolt. Also, the Gen 1s are plastic. You could break them. They also are floppy. So the recall, because I think he asked about the recall.
Yes. Yes.
No, so the recall is due to this right here. I call this the neck of the shroud. It's the piece that slides onto this little teeny collar piece right here. The issue is if that is too tight, you get hang fires, meaning when you pull the trigger, there's no bang, and then when you grab the bolt handle to be like, what happened? The firing pin drops, the gun goes off. That is the essence of the recall. So what Ruger did is they decided, because their tolerances are all over the place. Usually you have a couple thousandths in your tolerances. Ruger's is like a couple hundreds. It's big. Like you take this bolt shroud, put it on one bolt, and it falls off. And then you grab another bolt, put it on, and it might not go on. My gun is an early Ruger, and it seems to have the right tolerances. We used my gun as kind of the model because it almost works with everything. So the reason you go with the aftermarket shroud one is it doesn't flop around. Now that being said, probably 1 in 25 shrouds requires from us, because we try to keep tolerance as tight as possible, will require a little bit of fitting. And typically what you have to do is you just take emery cloth and you just go around the outside, take like 1,000ths off, or you can go on the inside of the bolt shroud, and then they work without any issues. So yeah, so it's the bolt shrouds are, one, it eliminates the wiggle, and two, it adds a heavier mass to the bolt. So running the bolt becomes more fluid, it becomes a little easier. It's a little easier to drive home that round. Yeah. One of our #1 selling products. We've been doing it for 6 years. We tweak tolerances all the time on these. We're very adaptive to what Ruger is doing, because you never know what Ruger's doing with their tolerances. Or one day they just be like, hey guys, remember last year when I told you I was going to do this? Well, that was 2 weeks ago. So
Right. And on that same note, I think you do have to highlight that the existing shrouds that you would have are not going to work with the new guns. And that's actually kind of
Oh,
the things that we ran into because I tried to put your shroud on the custom shop. I'm like, Aaron, this thing doesn't work.
yeah, and that caught us off surprise, right? They told
Yeah.
us they were going to change. So here, let me do a picture in picture here. So if you can blow my screen back
Yep.
up big, we'll walk through that. So here you guys can see this is these in these pictures here. These are Magnum shrouds, right? They have a square. I call it square versus rectangle. My staff all laughed at me the other day for it. But you can see that's a square, right? Squared off. Looks just like the Magnum. Okay, and then the old one is a rectangle, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an oval rectangle, but it's a rectangle. So if you click on so if you click on the options here and you scroll down, you can see right here. Only applicable to short actions. If you have this one, buy the old shroud. If you have this one, buy the new shroud. And we're going to update these pictures because we get a return at least once a week where the person bought the wrong shroud, even though we've tried to make it obvious. And in a week or two, I'm going to go shoot some YouTube videos where we walk through the new Trigger Tech triggers. We walk through the custom shop. We walk through the bolt shroud changes and things like that. So when you come to the options on here, there's this new option right here: new Ruger Precision Rifle short action. Right? It says see the description. Well, scroll down. There's a description. So very much a change. I talked to the VP of product at Ruger, and they said there might be a couple more tweaks coming down the pipeline, but they weren't sure yet. As of right now, they refer to this change as kind of generation 3.5.
And I think it's also important to point out it's not just the Ruger custom shop models. This is now applied to regular Ruger precision rifles as well.
Right, I have one of the new regular gens in the closet as well.
Yep. Okay. Um, so then I guess the other question is, so we talked about the Ruger precision rifle. What I know you also have the shrouds for the like that is actually our Ruger American Predator. We have the shroud for that as well. So I mean, what type of an impact are your shrouds for those besides just replacing the plastic with aluminum?
I actually talked to a customer yesterday. It's mostly cosmetic on the Ruger Americans. Not 100%. Some of them will give you a little better fit, fill, and
Yeah,
rotation. Plastic is really forgiving, right? So
yeah,
a lot of guys, when they put our shroud on, it's a little tight, and it's because you got to break it in, right? It's aluminum, it's titanium, it's got to wear a little bit, where the plastic just flexes and breaks. And colors are always nice. Titanium, it's a great, nice, shiny red, black. But honestly, there's not a lot of added benefit besides it just looks cool. And I mean, and it doesn't break in the cold. It won't break. It won't get brittle. So there is some, it's not plastic. It won't break, but mostly it just looks cool. So.
cool. Frank, if you have an issue, message me, and then we'll put you in touch with some people who can take care of an issue. All right. Um, okay, so then we start having questions on back to the CZ600. Barrels will probably be expensive, and that's going to be that's the biggest key on the 600s. The barrel interchangeability is really really cool. The problem is if you're only tied to CZ, at least for the foreseeable future. Um, Number one is, are we going to have the availability of the barrels? And keep in mind, because we're not here, and it's also going to be they can pretty much control the cost. I mean, you're not going to be
If
able to
we
go
can
out.
if we can get an action, we can cut that cost down. I have a friend that specializes in prefits. He does mostly DTs and AIs, but
Okay, so that's going to be the interesting part. So, like the Desert Techs, even though they're kind of very similar, the Desert Tech still uses an extension. So
yeah,
speaking
he
with
makes all of he actually makes a bunch of the DT barrels for DT that goes on their
Yeah.
factory rifles, but he makes all of the MDR barrels.
Okay. Like I said, so these apparently are not an extension, and that's just how they're milled on some high end. I don't even know what kind of machine you would need in order to
Well,
cut.
you've got to get that. You've got to get that tolerance completely, so when you slide it in, right, you're not getting any warping,
Yes.
bending, because it's a clamp, right? So if
Yes.
one side of that barrel is just slightly off, your clamp isn't going to clamp
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah. So it clamps in, and then there's a channel in between. But the question is, so it's like a standard barrel. Actually, here, let me grab one.
He's about to get banned. Hurry, guys! Type all the good questions while he's
Okay.
gone.
So a standard barrel, basically, even though this one's carbon fiber, so this is from Oregon Mountain Rifle Company. This was a regular barrel, then they put carbon fiber on it, but um, you thread that, and then you stick a reamer in there, and then you're going to chamber it. The problem is with the CZs, because the locking lugs are also in there as well, they're machined right into the barrel. I don't know what kind of machinery, how they do that. Maybe Aaron, maybe you know that. But as per Matt, he was like, yeah,
You're
they
going to
put,
cut them on a CNC,
yeah,
be a 3-axis or whatever. That's how most guys, like the companies that are doing prefits, like Proof and like Straight Jacket, even like Patriot Valley Arms,
yeah,
they're using a CNC, right? So they put all their tools in, put the reamer in, they turn on the program, and that program goes and it cuts that barrel exactly how you want it, depending on what you've ordered, right? If you order a little more free bore or whatever, they're going to tweak that program
well,
and they're going to go in there and, it's all
yeah,
CNC done. Prefits are all CNC. Very few people do manual CNC fits. Or,
okay,
sorry, very few of the big
manual lathe,
prefit companies do manual prefit barrels. Most of
okay,
them are done on CNCs.
yeah. All right, so actually, that'll be good to chat with Josh from Patriot Valley. All
Yeah,
right,
it would be interesting to get his take on that action.
all right, okay. So we're talking about, yeah, six arc. Definitely, there was no six arc there.
There's a question about AICS magazines not feeding in an RPR somewhere.
Trying to get through that. Where was that? Or see if you can find it, and then you can just read it. The CC600 could have been good if it had only consulted us. Okay, and I see the question. Um, so yes, but here's the thing though. I think we are unique people in terms of we would actually contemplate doing a barrel swap. I think most gun owners probably would never ever do that. Um,
But the thing is look, this isn't new technology, right? Accuracy International has been doing this for 50 years,
hmm
right? And they have a very easy threaded system. You thread it in, and then there's like a set screw, right?
hmm
You thread in the barrel to where it stops, and then you hit it with a thread with a set screw, right? So it will. I don't know. You can't knock the system, I guess, too hard until we
Yeah.
test. But
Uh,
like the Hut, when Ruger made that Ruger precision rifle, they went and talked to guys like Frank Galley and a few other things. And you know what their takeaways were from Frank Galley is the magazine has to be universal.
yep.
It has to run a PMag, it has to run an AICS mag, has to be universal, has to have an adjustable scope base, meaning it's removable, right? You can
Yep.
put, and that's where Tika screwed up the TAC A1, is they built in an integrated rel.
Oh wow. Okay.
You can't. It's a 20. You can't swap it off. It's part of the receiver, right? So
Yeah,
Ruger actually
I'm
went
not
and
super
got,
familiar with the Tikas. That's why I
yeah,
don't know.
Ruger went and got some incredible feedback for their rifle, and that's why they changed the game. 2015 is when precision rifle for the common
Yep.
man became a thing, and it was Ruger's.
Yep.
It was Ruger's product managers and developers and engineers who went out and gathered all the feedback. Hey, what would make an awesome rifle? And they knocked it out of the park. I mean, Is a Ruger as nice as a custom built 700? No. I have a $10,000 700 in the case on the floor. Does my Ruger shoot just as well? Yes. Is it as nice to shoot? No, it's nowhere as nice to shoot because you get that double cocking action in this 70-degree
Yep.
bolt. And if you don't run it hard and fast, then you end up going and you flip,
Yeah.
you roll your rifle
Yep.
if you don't hit it as hard as fast as you can. So, I mean, the Ruger has a few hiccups, but it changed the game completely.
Yep.
So,
All right. So this is the question. Also had AICS mag issues. The two that came with the RPR and the feed lips were never factory bent inwards.
which caliber? Because I thought all RPRs, unless it's like the 300, all came with PMags. Like the 6.5 PRC comes with a AICS mag.
They're accurate mags, yeah.
Yeah, the bigger calibers come with those mags. And yes, you have to tailor your feed lips to your gun on any AICS mag. The ARC mags by American Rifle Company, they have a whole other set of issues, but they feed extremely well out of a Ruger Precision. Now, if they get dirty, they don't run as well, so keep them in a Ziploc bag.
Interesting.
Yeah, go out. Do you have an ARC mag? You probably have an ARC.
I don't have ARC mags. All of my AACS are accurate.
I'll send you one to borrow.
Okay.
Take it out in the garden, dump it in the dirt, give it to your kid, let them pour sand in it, and then go run it, and it won't run. But if you take that mag and you clean it, and then keep it in a plastic bag in between, say, stages that you're shooting, they run like a dream. But the moment you drop it in the dirt, you might as well throw it in your backpack and not use it again.
Yeah, so I mean, it's actually interesting to me. Like, I haven't had any issues running any of my accurate mags, so I have 3 AICS accurate mags for 30865 that are run between a number of different guns.
Yeah, accurate mags run awesome. I'm also a big fan of the MDT mags.
Okay.
And I have ARC mags. I clean my desk off, but I usually have one sitting on my desk. And I run the ARC mags. They work a little better if you put an extender on them as well. But every magazine is kind of its own animal.
Yeah. Frank, so actually, yeah, there's a chat between Frank and Drew talking about Ruger's customer service. Here's the secret. As long as you're not a dick to them and as long as you don't belittle the customer service reps, they will go out of their way and they will make sure to take care of the issue and they'll make it right.
Caveat here.
Yes.
I run a small business. I deal with customer service every day. You know the one thing I've learned? If you do what Max just said and you treat them like a human being, all of a sudden, every policy that says we can't do this, they fudge it. Or they don't fudge it, but basically, if you're a jackass to a customer service person, they're going to look at this is what I'm supposed to do, and they're going to do the minimum required because you're a jackass.
Yep.
Right? Now, if you say, hey, ma'am, hey, what's your name, ma'am? And you use her name. So it's the reverse of good customer service back, right? Yep. So you ask them what their name is. You call them by their name. You make them feel valued. Like, that's what you're supposed to do as a customer service rep. But if you do it back to them, it's incredible. So I have a brother in the military. He's an interrogator, human intelligence interrogator guy. I love watching him work with customer service people because you go to the car rental place, he'll sit in the back of the lobby for 15 minutes and watch the person at the counter. And when he goes up, next thing you know, he's in the presidential car. They've upgraded everything. And all of a sudden, he walks out with no bill because he knows how to talk to people, right? He knows how to read them. And he just walks up and interrogation is all about finding what motivates someone.
Yep.
People in customer service, they don't like talking on the phone. No one likes talking on the phone. They don't probably particularly love their job, and now they're probably working remote, so they got all this crazy stuff going on. So if you just treat them like a human being, say, hey, I appreciate everything you're doing. You know what I mean? Just treat them like a human being, and life gets way easier. Yeah. So I know that when people call my customer service people, and they're yelling at them and screaming at them and telling them to F off, I'm like, okay, well, look, our policy says X, Y, Z. Guess what? 15% restocking fee,
Yep.
no return shipping. You know what I mean? And we never charge restocking fees, right? It's only there for the assholes. And it's written in policy
Yep.
basically to dissuade assholes from being assholes.
Yeah.
So,
Like I said, and like with Ruger, so I've been talking to a couple of people. I've known, so even though Ruger doesn't have a lifetime warranty that they claim or anything, but their official policies, they will take care of the issues and will take care of people. There are stories where people have blown up their guns, and they call them up and like, hey, they call up customer service like, yeah, I know I screwed up. I shot a squib load and then the barrel blew out. And anything I can get, and like I said, and they were like they owned up to it. Ruger just replaced because it was within certain period. They just replaced the guns brand new, even though they didn't have to. On the flip side of that, you had people contact them, and like I said, there's one in particular. He had a 338 Lapua, and he had really shitty, well-known shitty ammo, SMB ammo. Shot it, uh, blew the gun up, blew the receiver up. Calls Ruger is like, "Yep, your gun almost took my face off," and they were like very very hostile, antagonistic from the start, and like, yep, they sent it in. It's like, okay, well, like, if you want to take a look at it, it's like we don't think it is, but send it in. They sent the gun in. I talked to some of the people. It was like, yep, that it was definitely an overcharged round. I mean, you saw it everywhere, and it was like in those type of cases, it was like look, it's like we'll just give you 50% off, just shut you up, really, kind of like at that point, even though they didn't have to. But like I said, there were cases like people who've owned up to it. They took care of the customer service people, treated them with dignity and respect as other human beings, and they went out of their way to take care of those issues, whether it was actually caused by the manufacturer or not. But yeah, if you're a douche, people will be a douche back to you, and that's why the policies are in place.
well,
Uh,
and for legal issues, my little sister's a lawyer. For legal issues, you have to write the
oh yeah,
policies. They have to be there. And guess what? If you're a jerk, you're gonna get the policy,
yep,
and that's just how it is. And I'm not that old. I'm just in my early 30s, but I learned early in life, man. You just treat people how you want to be
yep.
treated. And I've had some really interesting things. I'm an IT guy by trade, so I've talked to some big companies with hardware that goes out and it costs the business millions of dollars, whatever, right? If you're just a decent person, things just work out. So
Yep. All right, so the hood is proving you wrong. Every time I go to the gun store, someone's buying 30-06.
that's because who works the gun counter? Some old retired dude. Like
Yeah. So
I
there's
would
still
be the worst gun counter salesperson in the world. I'd be like, why are you looking at that shitty piece?
no. So actually, I think a lot of it is regional as well. Yeah, like I said, there's some certain calibers that are much bigger than others based on the region. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with 30-06, except it's just not a
It's
modern type.
excessive.
Yeah,
I mean, think about it. 30-06 has been around since what? Springfield, the
1900,
Springfield 1903,
1903 A3s. Yeah,
right? Which I want
1903.
one because the Springfield 1903 is a Mauser action.
Yes, just don't get any of the early generation paper hangers that blow up in your face.
Right, right. I want like one of the 1919s or something.
Yep.
Anyways, and so I just lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, 30-06. Yeah, I mean it's been around for a long time, right? It's a great cartridge, right? The
Yep.
30 cal machine gun in World War II shot 30-06, right? And then as you get into Vietnam, whatever, Korea, they converted them to 308s, right? To 308 NATO rounds or whatever. But I mean the 30-06, it's a great caliber. You're gonna burn your barrel. It's not as efficient. You're pushing more powder. You're thumping the hell out of your shoulder for no reason. But other than that, I mean, you want to kill an elk at 900 yards, 30-06 will do it. You want to pancake Bambi at 50 yards, 30-06 will do it. You know what I mean? So. Are
Okay.
you going to enjoy the process? No. But, so, anyways.
Um, all right, so we have a movement to do King at 2 mile and 45 gap. All right, so Drew,
Only if Jerry Michalek is shooting it.
it's a Glock. Jerry doesn't like Glocks.
No. Well, you watch his video where he shot the balloon at 900 yards. Well, basically shot the plate that exploded the shrapnel onto the balloon. That was pretty cool. I could see him hitting a plate at 2 miles with his handgun.
Actually, but speaking of records, I posted it. There's a guy who did a 3 mile shot, and he with a 408 Shy Tech, and he hit it on his 8th shot. All right. Okay. Now, could these proprietary action parts be used in other calibers or need? What are we talking about here, Drew? Okay. And then he did have a question. So, um, should he get the steel shroud and not titanium? I mean, I would
So we
like.
only make them in aluminum and titanium. So if you want the extra weight, go the titanium.
Okay, as the 6.5. Oh, he has a 6.5 PRC RPR.
Yeah, so on the 6.5, your bolt body is going to be like a couple hundredths bigger than the shroud. If you go follow us on social media, there's one of our customers who's been trying to get us to make a proprietary 6.5 shroud, which we haven't done.
So does Drew need the standard or the Magnum?
No, he needs the standard one. It's just you have to realize the shroud is going to look a little smaller
Yep.
because the diameter of the PRC bolt is a little bit bigger, but not big enough to hamper anything or really for us to justify making one to
Yep.
that size.
Yeah.
Now, if 100 people who own, there's 100 people who own 6.5 PRCs that say they want one that's exact, let's do it, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it for one or two. So, but yeah, so it's going to be a little smaller, but I'd go titanium for sure on the 6.5 PRC.
I have the new
And
serial.
I would order sooner than later because that inflation price increase is about to hit.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Which I think our price increase will hit before we launch our 12 Days of Christmas sale, which is in like 10 days.
Wait. Is Aaron gonna go the way of, hey, we're gonna increase our prices and then put a decrease before Black Friday?
I thought about it.
All right, and oh wow, okay, so apparently this is a slave stream, not a Slav stream. I'm not gonna change that now. Um, okay.
What other questions do we have? I like questions. Or what else were we covering?
Uh, I think that was the biggie part. I mean, so I'm getting old. I mean, I should be in bed already, even though it's not even 10 o'clock yet. All right, the feed lips and the mags, we were never bent inwards, which is something most can handle doing themselves. I just want to know for QC processes. So, Drew, was this accurate mags for the 6.5 PRC that were never bent inwards, which is weird? Okay. Um. So 6.5 PRC AICS mags are stamped with 6.5 PRC.
So typically, you got your accurate mag. This might be an MDT. Yeah, this is an MDT 12 round mag. So typically, I think MPA, they make a tool, right? Basically, it's the size of the feed lip so you can bend the whole thing at once. Because if you use pliers, you can just bend like half of the feed lip. But what I have found is on most magazines, all you got to do is use your thumbs. And all it takes is a tiny, tiny little bit. And then your feed lips will work just fine. And this is an AICS, sorry, this is an ARC mag for everyone who doesn't know. And this is a really bad comparison because this is a 12 round mag, so it's a little bigger than the 10. Do you see the size difference? You can put a 4 round extension on this that makes it the exact same size as this 12 round mag. So this is a double stack. This is a single stack, and you can literally go to the range, right? Or if you have some dummy rounds in your house or some snap caps, whatever, just start pushing these lips in with your fingers and running the bolt, and you'll get it figured out pretty quick.
Hey, Aaron, I think you need to change your tune because you're making fun of your customer.
For what? You know what? It's not always bad to get made fun of. If you've never been made fun of at a rifle match or other things,
Yeah.
then you're just not living.
Yep.
But
So the hood, I bought an MDT mag from Anarchy Outdoors today, shipped already, and very reasonable shipping.
we try really hard. You can thank Katie, send her an email, support. Katie, thank you for my order. She came to work today. Like, we closed the office today, and we gave our employees, if you want to come in and work, you can come in. She came in knowing that she would be absolutely buried on Monday if she didn't. So she came in and shipped for a couple hours today. Probably you got a tracking number, but the postal service probably didn't pick it up. So it probably won't actually move until Monday. But
So here's a story. Joe's gun blew up. They replaced it. All right. So here's a question for you. Since you brought a 30-06, how much difference is between 30-06 and 300 Winchester Win Mag?
I feel like he
Big.
knows. He's gonna
Uh,
quiz me. That's why I have Google.
uh, so powder capacity 300 Win Mag is gonna be quite a bit more because I mean 300 Win Mag is a much fatter case. 30-06 is still a 308 bolt face. 300 Win Mag is a Magnum bolt face, belted cartridge. Uh, I'd say
300
maybe.
Win take a lot more pressure. I'm pretty sure. Oh, dude. Here, I'll share my screen again. This is a good one. Let me look at that. You tell me what the difference between a 30-06 and a 300 Win Mag is. Look at the size difference. And you have a better shoulder on the 300 Win Mag.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, the whole entire capacity is much bigger. Wonder if they've got. Wonder if they've got how many grains of powder.
I can pull up my reloading manual, but it's pretty big.
I'm not worried. I mean, there's a big difference just looking at the size of the.
Yeah. Well, and here's
the
basically the issue. It's like if you're gonna have something like 30-06 and it's gonna be in a long action, if you're gonna go long action, you might as well go with something bigger.
Yep.
Drew, I will get that ordered then along with a cocking piece. And yes, we do have for Squad members, for supporting channel members, we have an ongoing discount besides your standard Black Friday discounts that we're doing today. All right, wait, we got through the questions.
We got all the way
Yay.
down.
I got basically the big ones.
Sweet.
So this is actually an interesting one. So, Drew, for QC is not the best, but I think that also happens when many units are being sold. So here's the thing, and having a little bit more insight into Ruger, considering the joke of it is that this channel is Ruger Guns. Ruger's QC is actually better than most of your modern mainstream companies. The reason why, so none of the Ruger firearms are actually put together by gunsmiths. Ruger is I guess the best way to think about it, Ruger is a manufacturing company that just happens to produce guns. So they try to make what needs to be precise. So for example, like some of her barrels, I mean, they were the first like really mainstream guns that were shooting sub MOA, even though they weren't guaranteeing for sub MOA. Oh wait, hold on, I'm not even on here.
The only thing that's important on a gun is where the bolt and the barrel lock up. If you have that one piece good, the rest of your tolerances don't matter for accuracy.
Yeah.
Now for likability and comfort and ergonomics, it's all different. But where that bolt meets the barrel, if that's good to go, then nothing else matters.
Yeah. Um, I
Everything
said,
else is icing on the cake.
there you go. All right. Okay, yes, we're talking about Marlin. Yeah, so Ruger did pick up Marlin, and we're starting to produce Marlin brand firearms at
Quarter two, right? Of 2022.
what?
Have you talked to Mark? Is it quarter two of 2022
For what?
for their first release, Marlin?
I don't remember the exact date, but something around those
It's either
times.
quarter two or quarter four. Like they weren't even going to begin thinking about producing something till quarter four of this year.
Yeah.
So I'll have to call Mark. It's been a while since I talked to him.
Yep. There we go. All right, so I think we covered most of that stuff. I don't want to drag it on much further, but
Well,
let me know. Yes. What?
let's talk Black Friday sales for Anarchy. Let's talk a few new things that we got going on.
Yes. Yes.
And then
Yes.
if they've got any other questions.
Let's do that. So Aaron, you have the floor.
Okay, so for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we're doing 25% off select products. You click on here, and I argued with my partner because we didn't make a landing page. But, anyways, throw levers are 25% off for a bunch of different optics. We have um, a bunch of different brands: Vortex, Athlon, Arkin, Vortex, and a whole bunch of others. So 25% off throw levers. And then we're doing 25% off core belts. If you guys have never used a core belt, you should check them out. They're a full ratchet system. So the belt comes like big enough to fit like a 55-inch waist, right? And what you do is you cut it down to your size, and then you put the buckle on it, and it ratchets. And they're 1.5 inches. If you carry a handgun, they're
Yep.
phenomenal.
I
What
did
I
not.
would do if
I
you're
did not.
buying,
I did not know you're a dealer for core. I actually use a core belt. It's a really nice in between. So I have that black one. Um, it's a really nice in between a regular cheap belt and something like a much heavier, thicker belt. Um,
so
if, Even though it's like not steel reinforced or anything, it's a really solid belt.
yeah, here's this one's like 2.5 years old, and I wear it every day. It's pretty. This is so fun. I have a brand new one sitting in my closet, and I haven't cut it yet.
Yep.
But as you can see, ratchet system. You can see mine is wore out. If I was to buy a core, well, I have one upstairs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it a little bit longer, and then like every year I'll shorten it just a little bit, or yeah, shorten it a little bit, because then you don't get like that where the latch is catching every time. So yeah, just very simple. They also just introduced battle belts. So we got their. I'm not gonna try to put that back on. You guys will get dirty thoughts. Where are their battle belts? They just introduced battle belts. Huh, I wonder if it's on the website. Should be. Huh. We've got them hanging up on the wall, so I'll have to find out why they aren't on the website.
Aaron is going to send off an angry email as soon as this stream is over saying, "Who screwed me and you made me look like an idiot on a live stream."
Yeah, probably not. But they did release a multi-cam and a black multi-cam normal belt. They're pretty legit. So, anyways,
Yep.
so that is what we've got for Black Friday. For Cyber Monday, it's 25% off all of our new handgun parts.
Ooh.
We've been working for like 18 months on a bunch of handgun stuff, which it's all on the website. Like we haven't done like an official launch. We kind of just slipped it up there, and we're waiting on a bunch of videos to get done and some other stuff. But if you come up here, you can see we have parts for these handguns.
Oh, which Taurus do you have it for?
That's our old P22
Okay.
firing pin. Taurus is on the list. We haven't got there yet. I gotta get with Taurus and get some handguns.
If you're gonna go to Shot, I can bring you some. Actually, I can. Wait, didn't I put you in touch with Taurus?
Yeah, we've been so busy with
Okay.
the other stuff. So you can see here we've done compensators for the P10, slide plates, and then a pretty sweet magwell for the P10
Nice.
in the different colors. They're coming soon. Actually, they're all in stock. And then you got all the Glock stuff, compensators with Picatinny rails, slide plates. Here's our slide plates in a bunch of different colors. Extended mag releases, which these are actually pretty cool. We just made them slightly bigger so you won't accidentally bump, but they're pretty cool. They come in the middle. If you order one of these in the middle, there won't be any anodizing because that's where they're gripping it to dunk it in the tank, but it doesn't show. So just FYI, we're trying to figure out how to anodize the whole thing, but they have to grip it somehow. So we're working on figuring that one out. And then we got we have a whole lineup of H&K stuff. I think the H&K stuff is the most flushed out. Bunch of extended mag releases and 2-round and 0-round, a bunch of stuff like that. And then we made some with Ceres gear. They happen to be just down the road from us. We made some proprietary mats with them. So
Very
different
nice.
handgun mats and different things like that. So that's kind of what is the big new stuff from Anarchy is we launched a bunch of handgun stuff. We wouldn't be Anarchy without doing the Ruger. So Ruger compact and the Ruger. Which do you have a compact?
I do not have a compact. I had the
You have a
competition
full size?
at the competition, the competition one.
I don't know if we made one for the full size
It's
frame. We might
yeah.
have. But anyways, for the compact, these pinky grit rests are amazing. So yeah, so that's what we got going on. We launched a whole bunch of pistol stuff. We'll keep doing that, and of course we do the UF Pro tactical clothing. We've been doing a lot of SWAT teams and other things, so our inventory is pretty good at the moment on some tactical clothes if you're into that thing. And then we've got, we slipped in a few things. We slipped in the well tell. I think we came out with that like 6 months ago, but we slipped out a bunch of different colors. And then yesterday, or on Friday, we slipped out a whole color lineup for the little Bertha knobs.
Ooh.
So
Very, very cool.
So we're slipping stuff out. We're working on a bunch of different things, and then we have a whole lineup of other stuff. I have 40 other products that have been on the back burner since we took on the handgun stuff. So we got firing pins coming out for a bunch of the rim fires, more scope bases, more handles, more scope.
Yeah.
Oh,
And when Aaron says that there's a bunch of products coming down, so I'm sure you guys probably should know in September when I had the trip to Comp Expo, I did stop by for Anarchy Outdoors, and he showed me that wall where they just had like a whole bunch of products and ideas that they're working on, and some of it's actually quite exciting. And I guess the other thing that you guys are apparently launching some. Hey, Drew, Aaron has your trigger, by the way. So Drew has been bugging me for a trigger for a Ruger precision rifle. Apparently, you guys have something along those lines.
I got an email from Mark at Trigger Tech early this week. I have 4 final test triggers coming. 2 short action. Well, I have maybe it's 3. I have 3 or 4 coming, and they're different shoes, but they should be compatible with the Magnum and compatible with the short action. Not compatible with the rimfire at this time. Um, I was talking to him about anticipated release. He's supposed to have me all of the product details by Monday so we can build the product. We're anticipating sometime next week launching the pre-sale, and then we're anticipating triggers by Christmas or New Year's. So that's what we're anticipating, and I'll tell you what, I've been putting some rounds on them, and I've had a, what is it, special? The special
Yep.
is what's in the custom shop.
In the custom shop that's behind me. Yep.
And I've put some rounds across that, and I've done some rounds with the diamonds. But I put a diamond in my gun last time I took it out to the range, and it is crisp and light, and it shocked me. I even have it on video. I got on the gun, and I'm like, here we go. Click, and I'm like, oh, that's light. and I mean, I run most of my triggers at 10 ounces, so when it's light, it's light.
Okay.
So, but yeah, anyways, so yes, Trigger Tech triggers are coming. They haven't forgot about you. I asked him if we could do a fancy gold run. He told me probably not for the initial release, but down the line. So yes, Trigger Techs are inbound, or should be close to inbound. And we're going to launch the sale first. We should have the first batch of them. If it goes anything like the Timney launch, we're anticipating somewhere between 400 and 800 triggers.
Wow.
Out of the gate. So
that's awesome. And price-wise, do you have any ideas on those?
I don't. Okay. I would suspect it to be priced similar to the Remington 2-stage trigger.
Okay.
Which we can look. I don't even know what they run anymore. Okay. Yeah, I would anticipate them being somewhere in that price point, because if you look at the Timney's coming at $240, so I would admit the Trigger Tech's a much better trigger than the Timney, in my opinion.
Okay.
They'll probably come in that 250 range.
Okay. And for those, so this was actually something that I did plan. So we have the custom shop that's unreleased that has the Trigger Tech special. I also have a Timney Ruger precision rifle trigger along with a Jard. And then when I was in Utah, somehow I ended up with a one of those said, but I guess not final, Trigger Tech triggers, which apparently don't work with the large magnums.
It will work in the short action. So put it in the custom shop one.
Yes. So I'm going to cover I
wonder where my second trigger went.
So you handed it to me.
I know.
So,
but like I said, I think I've got 4 new ones coming in.
Yeah. So
we're gonna take them out. We're gonna put them in. We have a 300 Win Mag, 300 PRC. I think we have a 338. Mm-hmm. We have a 6.5 PRC. We have like 4 6.5 Creedmoors. We have a 6 Creedmoor. We have a 223. I have more RPRs than Ruger does, probably. So we're going to put triggers in all of them. I'm going to take them out. We'll do some shooting videos, and we'll talk about them, and then we'll do some comparisons of the new shrouds versus the old shrouds, the new style. Depending how well I shoot, maybe we'll show the groups of the. None of the Rugers have any rounds on them.
Even
all of my Rugers are brand new. They've been tore apart like 20,000 times, but like barrel count, round count is like 0 on all of them. So it'll be interesting. It'll be basically put a scope on it and zero it real fast and take like a couple shot groups and see what it does.
Yeah. Well,
So
even if Aaron doesn't show his groups, I know one of the things that he did ask me to do, and that's actually what we're planning on, is originally we were going to do it with a different caliber, but then the trigger didn't work on there, so I am going to bust out that gun, and we're going to run all the triggers on the exact same gun back to back with the exact same loads, both factory and hand loads, to see the impressions and if it makes any difference on the groups. So that'll be, I guess, the ultimate comparison of every single commercially available and soon to be commercially available Ruger precision rifle trigger. Um, and I'm really, really interested.
here's the last group I shot.
Uh,
So
and how many? Is
my
that like at
buddy, so
400 yards or what?
so my business partner is the oldest of three brothers.
Okay.
Our warehouse manager is his youngest brother, and then for the technical stuff that I do, I work with his middle brother.
Okay.
His middle brother is like kind of my boss, but not really. Anyways, he comes over to my desk and goes, "What are you doing?" At like 3:30. I'm like, "You're not doing anything." He's like, "I need to sight my gun in for the deer hunt." So I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Will you come to the range and sight and help me sight in the gun?" What he really should have said is, "Will you come and sight my gun in?" Because that's what happened. Is literally he was like, "You shoot way better than me, whatever, sight my gun." Basically, he didn't have any bags, nothing. I like had to go to my truck because he told me like 3:30, right? And I just cleaned my truck out. So I was like sitting there like, "Here, use my sweatshirt." Or then I realized I had a sandbag like in my. Anyways, I found a bag under my seat because that's what people like me do, right? I got sand, whatever. So these were 200-yard shots with a gun I've never shot
Okay.
before. So these were cider groups.
Okay.
So with a 300 with a 7 pound 300 PRC.
Yeah.
Last time I shot a 7 pound gun, I don't remember. So, but yeah, that's my last group that I shot with no good support or anything.
Yep.
So, have
Um,
you ever done? Do you do any like bench rest 22 stuff?
no,
I gotta see if I
not
have
yet.
a picture of this.
All right, so while you do that, there were some questions for you. Any plans for Bursa Thunder parts? For handgun stuff for Bursas.
Oh, we'd have to look at that. It depends on the market. We are known for making stuff for guns that have no aftermarket support. I wouldn't anticipate anything in the next 4 or 5 months, but once we get kind of settled in with the handgun stuff, I could see us. We're definitely gonna go. We're definitely gonna go chase the tourist stuff, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna go down and we're gonna do the tourist, the Bursa stuff. We'll take a look at
Okay.
things like that.
All right, so then PC Ruger PC charger, yes. So actually, I'm not sure if Frank, what you're considering about it. I did do a number of videos on it.
Hey,
Really,
you should
it
send me your gun.
the PC charger,
Yeah, I'll trade you a Trigger Tech trigger for your gun.
a trigger for the gun,
Aren't they like $300?
the PC charger.
Yeah. Are
They're
they
like
more than that?
700 or 800.
Oh, okay. Well, we can figure something else out then.
I'll send it to you on loan. That's
I
fine.
want
Or
to play with one. I'm like this close to just buying one. Maybe I'll
they're
call
awesome.
Mark
You
and
should.
just order one.
Yeah. Very phenomenal. It's my home defense gun. Right now I have an SB tactical brace on it. My suppressor is on there. I have a hand stop and a light on there. They're fantastic guns. They're really, really, really fantastic guns. There's a ton of aftermarket stuff for it. Interesting. Uh,
Hey, do you see a design similarity?
I do.
Yeah, because they're made by the same people.
Different
Oh,
packaging.
come on, focus.
Uh,
I freaked
and
out my
basically, there's a
camera.
big aftermarket for the PC chargers in terms of parts. Tandem Cross, honestly, right now dominates that market.
Do
But
they?
yeah,
We should go stomp on them.
You could. Honestly, a lot of the upgrades are kind of like poorly executed. There definitely needs to be an aftermarket trigger for the PC charger. The shoe's not bad. One of the biggest, most common things for the PC charger that people will upgrade is a larger extended bolt handle. Definitely is needed on there.
Oh,
Uh,
charging handle, you mean?
yep, a charging handle.
Yeah. I thought. I wonder. I mean, I've never looked at doing anything for the PC charger because Catalyst Arms has
He
their
he does
upgrade
stuff for
kit.
he does stuff for the PC carbine, and it's the old one. But keep in mind that so all the stuff that he has on his doesn't work with the new guns, which are the ones with the M-lock rails. The new ones.
Ooh, PC
So there's
charger. So
PC
it's the
charger and
old
PC
one,
carbine.
huh?
Yeah, so there's PC carbine, which is the
Oh, the
standard.
PC. Okay.
Yeah,
Dude, totally should make stuff for this.
the PC charger is let's say it's if you my most popular video on YouTube consistently day after day is the top accessories for the Ruger PC charger. Top accessories, followed by top accessories for Ruger PC carbine.
You know what? Coleon Noir really liked the PC charger.
He likes anything he's paid for. Sorry. Uh,
Well, it's true. It is
uh,
that is true, but
yes. No, the PC charger is fantastic. And like I said, look,
you
it's my
can't
home defense gun.
hide the joy in someone's face when they're shooting a gun they actually like to shoot.
Yes.
Because you don't smile when you shoot a gun you hate to shoot, even if
Yep.
you get paid to do it.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, Penguin Grip is getting stippling.
Ooh.
Actually, we're kind of redesigning the whole thing. This is like an intermediate redesign,
Okay.
but we are working. We're always tinkering. You never know what we're doing around here. But like the stippling, dude, it like glues this grip in your hand.
Very nice. I
It
see
is.
you removed the anarchy outdoors from there. You caved in to the crowd.
It only took 4 years, but we will always love the original. This isn't even the original, because you know the great thing about 3D, dude, this is so much lighter. Holy cow. Anyways, you know the great thing about getting your camera to focus.
Aaron, come on, you can use a real camera.
Dude, this is not a cheap, well, compared to your camera, but this is not a cheap webcam.
Yeah, I know.
Come on. I don't know what it did. Let me see if I can get it to focus.
Frank, thank you. Yeah, some of my earlier videos on the Charger and the Carbine are like a little bit cringeworthy, but they're good videos. They're awesome guns. I mean, they're truly fantastic firearms. I
Ah,
there
turn
you
off
go.
autofocus.
There you go.
So, but yeah, like I was saying, this isn't even the original because we've rounded this right here more, and these letters aren't as raised as the original. I'll have to see if I can find an original. I probably don't even have one anymore.
Okay, so here you go. A customer of yours is telling you how to do your job. The Penguin should have an adjustable thumb rest so you don't have to machine a hole in the lower of the RPR's frame. Huh?
Why do you have to machine a hole in the lower frame of the RPR?
Yeah.
Oh, to put an adjustable thumb. Okay. How much money are you willing to spend on a grip to enable me to put an adjustable one on here?
Well, so I think what Drew's talking about. So the Ruger Precision rifles, they come with ambidextrous safeties. It does
Yeah, but it
sometimes.
doesn't hit the shelf, right?
No, it
Or it
doesn't.
comes close.
It
You
comes.
have to use you have to I don't use a safety. My safety is mag out, bolt back. Like I never flip my safety on my Ruger Precision, so I don't even think about that. So that's good feedback. Oh, look at that, half a gun.
Yeah. Well, I kind of broke my 300 PRC, so I'll have it apart. Uh, yeah. So I mean, it comes very. Let me make myself bigger. It comes It comes up, lighting.
It gets close to hitting.
It
So
comes
the
close.
new,
Yeah, so basically the problem is like if you have it's tough to use your thumb. Like I said, if you have a bigger thumb, it's like right under.
yeah. So we're working on kind of modifying this shelf a little bit. So maybe we'll lower it just a hair or something. Or
Or
if you want to order
so,
26 of them, I'll custom make one for you.
ooh,
I
Drew,
think
there
it's
you go.
26. It might only be 12. I don't
Uh,
remember what the minimum quantity is. But
Frank, thank you for joining. He's getting ready for work. Okay.
so
So
anyways,
we covered the PC charger. We did that.
did you
Okay,
ever
yeah.
know what's on my desk? Look at this. A 1022 mag. I don't even own a 1022.
A Ruger Precision Rimfire.
You know, I don't own one. The business does, but maybe I should take it back to work. It's probably from when I did that. I did some live videos a while ago where I had a whole bunch of guns in the back. It's probably from that day.
Okay. All
Any
right.
more Bagara content? Love me some Bagara.
I don't have any Bergaras actually. I'm waiting. I was promised a couple of Bergara rifles, and that did not happen. So here's the answer to the case capacity. 300 Win Mag is at 92 grains versus 62 grains for 30-06.
Yeah, so it's
Made,
significant energy.
yeah.
So we're getting some significant terminal energy due to 30 grains more of powder.
Yeah. Like I said, 30-06, I mean, it's greater than 6.5 PRC, which is going to be in the high 40s. Um, but, yeah. Oh, and actually, this is for you. I can't believe I missed it. Ever use a Horus HOVR scope or a Tremor reticle?
What? What's the question?
Horus HOVR scope or a Tremor reticle?
Are you shooting people? This is a serious question. Max, what's your deal?
Yeah. So
What is the use case? If you're shooting people, a tremor reticle is amazing because people are big. If you're shooting little still targets, they're too busy.
yeah, I think that's a good answer. But let's say so. Even though primary arms, they have a person-sized range finding feature built into the reticle. I like a lot of the tremors. I like some of the features in there, but it is a little too busy. Right now, one of my favorite reticles is the. It's a great reticle. It's not in a super duper feature packed scope. In the Burris XTR3, the reticle in there is fantastic. Burris is apparently going to have some new scopes, and I have played with them at Comp Expo. They're very nice scopes, and I really like those SCR2 reticles. Fantastic reticles. I think they do a great balance between uh, giving you features you want without being super busy.
You need to
Uh,
get a Bagara. Here, you want to see a sneak peek of some videos we've been working on?
Hold on. Okay. Okay, so now Drew's kissing your ass. Thank you, Aaron, for coming on to Slav Gun's live show tonight. I appreciate the time answering all my oddity of my questions.
Anytime.
All right. Is it true that Burger is going to release some factory 300 PRC ammo? I recall seeing
I
something.
doubt Burger releases any factory ammo, right?
Well, no,
Usually
Burger
not.
Burger does ammo, especially since now we're basically the Capstone Group, same parent
Are
company.
they are they doing ammo?
Yep, Burger has ammo now for the past year.
I guess you're right. I have like 600 rounds of burger ammo. Well,
So,
so
I'm sorry. Wait, is Burger doing ammo? Wait, I have 600 rounds of Burger ammo.
so here's the problem, right? It's Lapua brass, right?
Yes.
So I think Lapua in my brain, but it's burger projectiles because I shoot the Federal 105 burgers.
Yep.
So I'm like, for some reason, the big yellow box just didn't stick in my brain that it's actually burger ammo.
Yeah.
Burger. Okay, so burger makes burger. Okay, there we go. 300. So Slav, I don't reload
Yes.
a ton
Yes.
because it's either I reload or I shoot, and I prefer to shoot, so
Yep.
I don't reload. And I buy ammo at bulk discounts, so I don't.
Yep.
It's like a wash for me. Anyways, 300 PRC. I've heard that it's finicky to load for.
So define finicky.
Meaning it requires a little bit more work than other calibers.
Now, I haven't run into that issue. So there are some issues with 6.5 PRC and 300 PRC, but it's not related to actually getting load data. So 300 PRC and even 6.5 PRC, just get Reloader 26 or H1000. Stop messing with anything else, and those powders do really, really well. There's
We
plenty.
use the what is it, Vitatori?
Vita Viore and so N565 is the one that was created for those type of calibers. I
Yeah,
have
that's
not.
what. So Cody and his brother
Yeah.
are both shooting 300 PRCs, and that's what we got to load because we couldn't get anything else.
Yeah. It's apparently it's really really solid powder. I haven't played with it myself. But H1000 and Reloader 26 is the bee's knees. And why is my Ruger 300 PRC taken apart? I was doing some load development with Reloader 26. There were some slightly more than tepid loads, and I basically on the bolt I killed the extractor, and on I sheared the bolt stop, and the bolt stop kind of half of it is stuck in it. That's why I have it apart to try to get it out. Fun stuff.
Nice, blew it up. Sounds like it's going back to
I
Ruger.
didn't blow it. I didn't blow it up. I just it's the only problem with the Ruger Americans. Well, one of the
So is
problems.
that like a roll cage? Once you roll it once, you don't want to use it again.
Like
Your
it's
receiver may or may not be compromised. I
I
would
don't the
suggest
barrel
only
and
40
no,
grams of powder
no,
instead of 80.
all of it is actually fine. The barrel is fine, but basically because the bolt was locked on it, I beat it out, and that basically using
Okay.
a that's what beat the
So you
shoot.
broke it because it was locked up.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like that the load actually blew it up. It was just locked up. Um, all right, so yeah, so Hornady's releasing the 250 grain in the Outfitter line. Uh, okay, so here we go. Here's actually somebody else who's loading for it. Exact opposite. Mine likes everything. Never shot over 1 MOA in any load with 300 PRC. Shot multiple quarter-inch groups. Reloader 26, H1000, Retombo N570, and 7828
Nice.
SSC.
I
Yeah,
love the internet. God bless the internet.
yeah.
There's so many smart people out there, and look at that. We just got some
Yeah,
awesome
like I said,
information.
and I have never had an over 1 MOA group with any of my loads either with 300 PRC.
See, so
Um,
we have a custom, so we have a Defiance Tenacity anti-tie action
uh-huh,
with a Bartland carbon fiber,
uh-huh.
and it wouldn't shoot any factory ammo, like, better than like 3/4 MOA, with
Okay.
like 35 SDs.
Wow.
Well, yeah, it was
Those are
so.
some high-ass SDs.
Yeah, so Cody, our warehouse manager, started. He decided to try reloading.
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of friends that reload, and I was like, I
What
could show you
kind
how
of
to do it, Cody, but I'm out of practice. So I sent him over to one of my buddy's houses, and Dude, that gun is freaking.
What
It's
kind of
amazing.
factory ammo was it? So the reason why is
Hornady 212s.
okay, precision hunter.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was actually some better stuff. The problem with some of the Hornady um, factory ammo, depending on when you got it, Hornady like to switch powders at that point. So when they launched, they loaded with Reloader 26. Then they switched to H1000. So that ammo does have fairly high
So you
SDs.
get some consistency issues.
There were some, I did with factory ammo. So here's the thing though, with factory
Well, I mean,
ammo,
it's a total ammo change, right? You're changing powders, burn
yes.
rates, and everything.
But here's the thing though. I mean, it still should have. I mean, all of mine still shot sub MOA anyway. But it's shot well even though there were high SDs. That was the thing. But the other thing to keep in mind is some of the people, depending on who's chambering it, the one issue with 6.5 PRC and 300 PRC is as you get into hand loads, on your third or fourth load, you start running into issues. The dies don't resize all the way to the bottom of the case, and the chambers have been inconsistent. So with 300 PRC, the Ruger chambers are a little bit on the tighter side. I got a bunch of brass from a friend who has a Desert Tech in 300 PRC. Even though I can resize the case, it doesn't size it all the way to the bottom, and his uh, chambers were a little bit more on the loose side. None of that brass is usable in my guns.
So you know how you fix that? You put your die on the lathe and you turn it down.
Okay.
So
Yeah. But yeah, no. So basically, there's an issue with dies in the 6.5 PRC and 300 PRC. So what some people basically started doing is what some people started doing is they started playing with the chambers and actually opening them up a bit more. But yeah, it's weird. But with factory ammo, no one's really had issues. And like I
I
said,
mean, it's a pretty new round, so I would figure people have got to be tweaking it slowly but
yeah,
surely.
I'll send you a
And
couple. I'll send you a couple of links. But like I said, in the 6.5 discussion groups and on the long range hunter groups, there's been long threads on it. But as long as, let's say, for example, if you keep the brass to the rifle, you won't have those issues. But like I said, the Rugers do have tighter chambers than the Savages. Um, so like, and even the Mossbergs. So all of the brass does work that way. But 300 PRC, yeah. So
boom, I like it.
my rifle is Bergara HMR Elfman Tactical Trigger. Best $1,000 I ever spent.
Bagara's putting Elfman triggers from the factory, or did you swap it to an Elfman? Well,
Okay. All right.
anything else?
I think that basically covered that one. So if you guys want to,
Give you a sneak peek of one of
yes,
our
go
videos.
ahead. Go ahead, Aaron. As long as it's not anybody shooting.
What? Oh crap! No, I guess we can't do that.
You can. Aaron's gonna post it as a separate video because we don't want to
It's
get.
gonna go up on YouTube. Here, let me see if how much I can show you.
So hold. Let me take you off of this.
Oh wait, let me take the camera off. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, so YouTube basically does have algorithms. When they see somebody handling a firearm, it automatically kills the stream. And that all is related to the nutbags who decided to live stream shooting mass shooting events. Yes. So yeah,
Okay, so I will stop it at 30 seconds.
okay, go ahead.
And then we will skip and then we will skip to 39 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. So we've been working on like short 30-second marketing videos. So this should be pretty cool. So we'll get some feedback real fast. So I will stop this at, what did I say, 30 seconds?
30. Ooh.
Magara, baby. CVA. Paramount Pro. Okay. We're skipping. We're backing it up just a hair. Here we go. Click play.
Very cool.
We didn't even sight the rifle in. We just shot the watermelon with no sight in. But yeah. So that was pretty cool. We took another shot at a watermelon with a GoPro in front of it, and we flipped the GoPro through the air. Just the shockwave of the 300 grain bullet.
Mm-hmm.
It flipped the GoPro before it hit the watermelon. So you could watch the GoPro fly through the air as it's recording the watermelon exploding while it's doing a flip.
Very cool.
Pretty cool.
Alrighty, so lots of exciting stuff. Going to SHOT Show, I'm assuming?
Yes. I had everything booked, but then Southwest did Southwest and canceled all the flights. So now I've got to look and see what days. I was planning on flying down on Wednesday morning. I mean, it's only a 45-minute flight for me, right? 45 minutes to Vegas. I was planning on flying down on Wednesday, spending Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, flying back Friday like 7 p.m. or something. But it's been all messed up. I haven't bought my tickets yet or anything, but hotels are booked, flights were booked, and now we got to figure out what we're doing. But yeah, I plan on being there for a couple days.
Is anybody going to be exhibiting your products, or have you guys considered doing a booth or anything in the future?
So for Anarchy Outdoors' products, I don't think it's worthwhile to exhibit at SHOT Show. And I've had long conversations with Area 419 and things like that. Like, we go to SHOT Show, we can go to restaurants and bar, whatever. I don't go to bars. I don't drink.
Yep.
So we go to restaurants or whatever, and we can talk to the people we want to talk to. The reason I go to SHOT Show is because everyone in the industry is there. I don't really go to look at new guns and things, right? I go to see the Josh Coons and the Ted from American Rifle Company, and I go to see, people like you or some of our international dealers. Everyone's there, right? So it's worth going because everyone's there. But we have one of our sales. We have a sales guy that does UF Pro sales. Mm-hmm. He's a very awesome. Like, he's bored. He's my business partner's neighbor, and he's just bored. He's got his hands in like a bunch of things, and he's bored, right? He's wealthy. Basically, he can live off of his sales career. You know what I mean? So he's bored. So he's been doing UF Pro sales for us. So we're going to take him to SHOT Show because he's been to like 10,000 trade shows. We're going to take him down. We're going to show him the LE section, and we're going to see that maybe in 2023 we vend, but we do more of the tactical clothing distribution.
Yep.
And if we do that, we'll have a corner of Anarchy's products, right, in the booth, right? But we went and vended at NTOA, which is the National Officer Tactical Association. Mm-hmm. And it was insanely, incredibly profitable, lucrative, amazing, whatever, right, for the lead generation. And if we can have the same quality lead generation at SHOT Show, because the LEO guys are going to SHOT Show to buy stuff, right?
Yep.
They're going to SHOT Show to see what's new, to see what training's new, to see what gear is new. And if that is the case, then we will probably vend in 2023. It also depends if UF Pro is willing to partner with us, meaning they'll send some of their sales staff
Yeah.
and maybe help us.
Yeah. Because
Um,
of course, look, it's not. You're not making the entire pie. You're making a cut of the pie because you're just a distributor for them, and you're not the
right. We
manufacturer.
do. Yeah, we work very closely with them. We handle all of their US leads. So if like say New York City calls UF Pro and goes, "Hey, I want a quote." UF Pro goes, "Perfect," and they send us an email, right, with the information.
Yep.
So we handle almost all of their UF Pro warm leads. So um,
And have you?
so
Uh,
it would be a dynamic partnership basically. They're coming over to help us generate leads, which then in turn helps them. It would be really interesting because they don't really understand the U.S. market very well, nor do they have the capacity. They'd have to double their manufacturing capacity to begin to scratch the U.S. market. And I mean, it would be interesting to see the sales numbers and different things. But we're like 3 times more this year than we were last year,
yeah.
and that's a significant increase for them in the U.S. market.
Yeah. And
So.
for the Anarchy Outdoors products, I mean, right now you're all consumer direct. Have you considered going through a dealer distribution model?
No, we have a dealer distribution model.
Okay.
A&J Sporting Goods, Optics Planet,
Okay. Yep.
Brownells. We got
Yes.
our local sporting goods store. They have like 4 stores in Utah. They carry our stuff.
Okay.
We're working on Shills and um, Bass Pro. Just kidding. Sportsman's Warehouse, which was bought by Bass Pro.
Yep.
So we're working on different channels and things. The problem is we have such a like niche market, right? That it's hard for someone to be like, unless you train the sales staff behind the counter, like, hey, put these products on one Savage and use it as your demo gun, because you will sell an upgraded gun every time,
Yep.
especially like the Ruger American. Like
Yeah.
you put a bolt handle on a Ruger American, it's not going to leave the store without the bolt handle on it,
Yep.
right? And all of a sudden, the store who had it, maybe I won't say the profit margin on the street, but it's very, very small.
Yes.
Very, very small. I don't know how any gun store who only sells guns stays in business, because profit margin is super, super small.
It's not about the new guns. It's all about the used guns.
That is true. That's a true statement. So very, very small. But if you can take a $400 gun and sell $120 in accessories that you have standard industry dealer margins on, all
Yep.
of a sudden your gun, which you had no margin on, all of a sudden becomes super profitable.
Absolutely.
So,
Very, very cool. And I guess final question is there a limb saver for the adjustable stock butt stock that comes with the RPR? I don't know. Why? Is the one that's on there not that good? Um,
I like that question. You know what? There currently is not, but it would only take me a couple weeks to make that a reality. So, and I can't show guns or I'd show you, but the fast acquisition buttstock on the have you seen the fast acquisition buttstock,
I don't think so.
Max? Here, I'll show you on my.
So like I said, I mean, on mine, there is a limb saver that's used with the adjustable bag rider for the RPR, but I don't recall seeing anything specifically for.
Oh, oops, oops, oops! I just want this. Yeah. So see this guy right here.
Okay.
It attaches like this.
Yep. Cool.
So if we go back to the first, if I was to just make this plate right here, then the Magpul limb saver will attach to this. So the guy that designed that fast acquisition, who designed this right here,
Mm-hmm.
was smart and used a universal Magpul
Okay.
limb saver as his back end. So you could theoretically, this one fits the factory one. It doesn't quite fit it, but it's close. Actually, no, it's close. I'd have to tear my gun apart. Sorry, it's been like 3 years since I tore my butt stock apart. But yeah, if I was to make that plate, I mean, you'd end up being, I don't know, probably in like the $60 range. But that you can make that a reality. This Magpul limb saver is amazing. I've used it on my gun for like 4 years now, and it's all ripped up because I love it. This limb saver is just amazing. So, but
Very cool.
that's actually a good thought. I hadn't ever thought about that, so maybe I will. Maybe I'll call them and see if I can just buy plates. If I can't just buy plates, I'll just make plates.
There we go. The trade-in are high numbers of at my local store. Add a value, hold double. I don't know what that was specifically
The
about.
trade are in high numbers of them at the local store. Added a whole double-sided rack for them. Oh, I think he's talking about used guns.
Okay. So in terms of used guns, what I can tell you is when you go to the store, the dealers will pay less than 50% of what they're going to be able to sell the gun for. So I'll share the story with you. So a Ruger
Like
American,
used cars.
a Ruger American rimfire that I just purchased. So I thought they were asking 330, and that came. It was basically the gun was like new. Standard MSRP is 4 and change. They're going on Gun Broker for about 330. They're asking 330 with a Nikon rimfire scope, which sells for about 120, 130 bucks. I paid 300 for the rifle with the scope. I was like, wow, I got a pretty good deal on it. I asked the retailer, how much do you guys pay for the gun? What do you think they paid for it?
Probably 75 bucks.
A little bit more. So they actually paid
Like 100.
130 for the
Yeah.
Ruger American rimfire, like new, with a $150 scope on it. That's how much paid on it. All right. So, Alex, can I contact you on that? Yeah, so you can contact Aaron at Anarchy Outdoors. And once again, I'll put the link if you want to support the channel.
Just email support and say attention, Aaron. So
There we
support
go.
at anarchyoutdoors.com. Attention, Aaron. You can click on this contact form and it will send us an email. So
There we go. All right, and now it's almost 11 o'clock. I'm going to say screw you guys. I'm going home.
meat sauce. Hey, question before you get off.
Yes.
You've got 3 kiddos, right?
I got what?
You got 3 kids, right?
Yes. I have a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 3-month-old. All
So,
girls.
here's a question for you.
Okay.
Have you noticed a difference between 2 kids and 3 kids?
Yes, we're outnumbered.
1 kid is easy. 2 kids is easy. 3 kids is oh shiz. 4 kids, that's just another kid.
Yeah, that's why I want 4. Wifey, it does not. We'll convince
No, I
her.
got 3 too. I have almost 7, a 4, and a 2-year-old yesterday. She turned 2 yesterday.
Aww.
She's been sick, so I haven't slept, nor has my wife slept in like 2 days. So they did both end up taking a nap earlier today, so that was good. But
yeah. Drew, yes. You can contact Aaron, and he will give you an RPR trigger. Aaron's like, what's going on?
I'm giving triggers away? You know what? We are giving a trigger away. You will have the opportunity to win a trigger, because when they come in, we
should
will do a
giveaway for one.
giveaway in the Ruger Precision pages on Facebook. And heck, they sent me a whole bunch of trial ones, so
Let's
I'll
do one.
probably give away 2 or 3
So
triggers.
we've done an Anarchy Outdoors giveaway in the past. Let's do one for one of these triggers.
Yeah, we can do that. We can
Okay.
totally do that. So, um,
To look at
you know what
nerds.
else we could do is we could do the giveaway, but we could also say whoever orders a trigger, we will pick one random person and refund their order. We can do that too.
We can do that. That's awesome. Yeah.
So.
Uh,
Yeah, like we were a brand new company when we did the Timney one.
yeah.
Like, I don't know how Timney ever was like convinced that we should launch their trigger. Like, this is something I learned about small business. To the bold goes the reward.
Yeah.
That's straight up asked their CEO. I'm like, I know you never heard of me, but I want to launch your RPR trigger. I have like 10,000 people in a Facebook group, or probably at that time was like 5,000 people in
Yeah.
a Facebook group. And I was like, I want to launch it. Can I do a pre-sale? I'll take your first batch of triggers. And we ended up having to up our PO like 4 times. I think we launched with 300 triggers.
Yeah. So that's the Ruger Precision center fire trigger. I have a Timney in that Ruger American, and that's a sweet ass trigger in there. I really like it.
Well,
But
compared
before,
to the factory one, I mean,
yeah.
it's an okay trigger, but
Yeah.
compared to the factory one, it's like
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, and they kind of screwed up. And before they sent me that, I was like, I need a Ruger American center fire trigger. They sent me a Ruger Precision rimfire trigger. I don't know how, but now because of that, I have a gun that is on order, so we can fit that.
I was like, you should send that to Derek.
Oh yeah. Well, and then there's this green thing. I don't know what the heck it is.
Yeah, you should wave that around. Let's see. Hey, Drew Bailey, I know who has your trigger. Have him hold it up. Hold that up.
So that's the. This is not going to be the final one because somehow it doesn't work with the big guns. Well, he has a 6.5 PRC.
Okay, you want to know how this conversation went? This is funny. So we're playing around. We're doing our due diligence. Trigger Tech sent us triggers. We are going to test triggers. Guess what? We try to put it in the Magnum. Doesn't work. And it might not even have worked in the 223. I don't remember. Like, it would not slide
Yeah.
to like it won't even slide in, right? Like,
Yep.
like it is physically impossible to install the trigger in a Magnum.
Yeah. It's the same thing. So this is the first generation Timney that somebody gave to me, and I'm trying to stick it into the 300 PRC. I'm like, it doesn't work. He's like, well, it might take a little bit of effort. I'm like, it doesn't stick in.
You have a Gen 1? So do I. I have a Gen 1 in my gun too.
Yeah, so I have a Gen 1, but I couldn't use that anywhere. So then basically that's why we have the
So
Gen 2.
it will go in any short action.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got one.
But it didn't go into this. But it didn't go into the 6.5 PRC.
No, it won't. It won't go. It has to have the J cut out.
Yeah.
So if you've never bought a Timney trigger from Ruger,
no, it's not even that. It's not the J cutout. It's this part here, at the very end of it. On the Magnums, it's longer.
Oh yeah, that's right too. So also, when you buy a Timney trigger, you have to take the little
the bar
piece.
And all that stuff. Yep.
No, I don't think you have to take the bar. You just have to take the there's a spring and that little metal piece that it presses.
They started changing, so now you got to put it to keep the cost down. Because they don't want to machine a lot of their own stuff, you have to transfer in more of the stuff.
I guess I haven't opened a brand new Timney trigger recently.
Yeah. So they changed it up. They changed it up with the Ruger Americans. They changed it up with the Ruger Americans, and I think they changed up some of the stuff with the RPRs.
Where's the trigger? Oh, we didn't put the trigger blowout on the new mats. By the way, if you guys don't have a Ruger Precision cleaning mat, the new ones we make are amazing.
I think I need to take a look at that.
Do you not have one?
No.
Dude, look at this. Here, I'll point my camera down. Look at this. Look how big that mat is. It's 4 feet. It's 18 inches by 4 feet. So
yeah,
covers the whole desk and.
Yeah.
We
And,
changed the design, so it's pretty sweet.
yeah, and that's the only other aftermarket available trigger. That's the jarred
Dude,
for it.
send that to me. I want to try it.
We'll do that. Let me finish the video. I'll send it to you, or I'll give it to you at Shot Show.
Yeah, that works.
Or
I
actually, if
like
you want,
being arrested in the airport for gunpowder.
if you want to talk to, I can just put you in touch with Dean at Jard, and I'm sure he'll send you one.
Yeah, probably. But I'd probably never sell them.
Yeah.
But anyways.
All right.
So, okay, so we're going back to the story about when I called Mark at Trigger Tech.
Yes.
So we're like, they're anticipating launching the trigger, like, within a couple weeks of me playing with them. And I call him up and go, Mark, we have a problem. And he's like, what's that? It doesn't work in any of the Magnum guns. What? Yes, it does not work in any of the Magnum guns. He's like, are you kidding me? No, it doesn't work. This is like, so you can either launch them as short action only, or you can do what Timney did and machine a J cut and something else and into it. And it was so funny, dude. He was like, they had no idea that
I'm amazed
it would not work.
I don't understand how you don't, unless you just
Well,
really
the
didn't
problem
pay
is
attention
they
to the market.
designed the trigger based on the custom rifle, right?
Yeah.
So they designed a trigger based on the new design and didn't think backwards. So,
Well,
but
the custom
everyone out there, you can. I'll take all the accolades. Clap me on the back. Be humble and modest. You can take, and actually, it's me being selfish because I didn't want to do all the customer service that would have been involved in. Hey, this trigger only works on the short actions, just like with our shrouds. This is the new shroud. This is the old shroud. Like, not that hard. So I didn't want to take all the time for customer support on, hey, this one won't work, this one won't, this one will. So I was like, you guys gotta fix this. So due to that, that's why they've been delayed. Is they're making sure that they're backwards compatible. And I'll tell you what, they are awesome. I have a video of me shooting the dive. I've shot it in the past, but I haven't shot my Ruger in a long time. I took it out to make a bunch of cool videos, and I have a video where I'm like, damn. So it's pretty funny. I'll have to post that video. But I don't hit the target, so I was kind of just gonna like overlay music so you can't tell that I missed what I was shooting at.
Yep.
But to be fair, the gun was zeroed in Ohio, and I hadn't re-zeroed it, and I was shooting at 400 yards, guessing my elevation. I got really close. I just didn't hit the target.
Yep. So are those triggers fairly easy to install, even for a moron like me? Yeah, they're fairly.
Yeah, you
easy
just
to
need a
install.
rubber mallet.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
just something
definitely.
tap, 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 tap.
Yep. And then so actually, there's a really good part. So he's also looking to buy a bolt shroud next month. And then Drew instantly pointed out that you probably should if you can get it now, because there will be a price raise for, because everything's getting more expensive, there will be a price increase.
Yeah, don't wait. If you're going to wait, I would not wait. Or since you watched the live stream, message me. I'll take care of you. But yes, like I said, within like 10 days, we're increasing prices. Probably right after Cyber Monday sale ends.
Yep. And do keep in mind, though, so even after the sale prices end, supporting channel members, you do have a discount to Anarchy Outdoors. And probably that code will be changing, I'm sure, probably in the beginning of the year, as we generally do. So
Right.
if you're not a channel member yet, and you don't have that cool blue icon next to your name like Drew does, click on the join button that's right there, and help support the channel. All right.
We should give away some mats.
You should.
You know what? Maybe I'll send you like 2 or 3, and you can give them away
There you go.
to the person that comments the least.
The least.
Just kidding. Oh, I'm getting tired.
Very
Hey,
cool.
you need to get a light.
I have lights. I just put a higher ND filter on.
You need a light behind you. So, dude,
Yeah.
check out. I'm like a Twitch gamer. I bought a Twitch gaming light.
Oh, I have two soft boxes on the sides. What it is, I just put a very heavy ND filter. So when I was streaming on Amazon before this, they have algorithms that actually blew up the image. So that's why I just didn't really adjust it.
What
So
were you
that's what.
streaming on Amazon?
We do short product videos on Amazon. So some of the gun related stuff, I'll send you a link. So scopes, things like that.
I didn't know you were allowed to sell gun stuff on Amazon.
There's certain categories of firearms parts that you can actually do that on
No,
Amazon.
you can't. It's a lie. I've been kicked off of Amazon more times than anyone.
That's because you don't sell airsoft products.
Oh, so I should just label all. So I should just label all my stuff as airsoft. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So no, actually, for real. So I'll send you the link to the details. But yes. So there's a lot of firearms, actual firearms categories that you can sell, including things like sights.
Yeah, there are, but they don't like my account because every time I try, I get banned.
Okay.
So.
But that
And
would
same
actually
with
be a good
eBay.
place.
They're like, once you get on their naughty list, you're always on the naughty list.
Yes, Amazon does have that, and they do keep a big naughty list.
But see, you
So.
get on the naughty list by not knowing that you were doing something wrong. So I got on the naughty list in like 2016, right when they changed all their policies. So like all of our stuff was on the website, and then they changed their policies, but they didn't tell us. So then we got on the naughty list because
Yeah, that's
they were all
Amazon.
pre-existing.
That's Amazon. I mean, that's unfortunately one of the biggest things with Amazon is
I wish I could sell on Amazon. I'd be retired.
start it.
I
Get a
tell you what, in 2016, we were doing 25 grand a month on Amazon
Wow.
and like 2 grand on our website.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
And now, you know how much I do on Amazon? I do
Zero.
like less than 5 grand on Amazon.
Okay.
You know what I do on my website? A whole lot more than that.
Yeah. Well, listen, you've built up a name for yourself, and people do now know Anarchy Outdoors. So, all right. And on that note, we've been going on for over 2.5 hours. Definitely way longer than I planned. Thank you, Aaron.
Sounds good. We'll look for the. You know what? We need to do a stream. Put this on your calendar.
Okay.
We need to do one on December 8th, and we'll go over the 12 days of Christmas
Yes. Okay.
promotions, which it really isn't 12 days. It's more like highlighting different categories across the 12
Okay.
days. But it'll be cool to talk about the different categories and the different
Yeah.
options that we're doing.
We'll definitely do that. And people who are subscribed to our email list, we can do that through Discord, and we'll send those emails out as well. So, as always, Aaron, thank you for joining us. If you're looking to find Aaron, go to anarchyoutdoors.com, or I put a couple links in the chat description, and I'll put it in the bottom of this chat. And as always, thank you guys for joining. Keep on squatting, and we'll see you in the next video. All right.